All right, sweet. All right, so I'll just introduce this in then.
Yep.
I don't know. I cringe when I do this shit. But okay. Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Movies, Comics, and Life podcast. I'm here again with Rob from am I allowed to say your location?
What's that? Yes, I am the one from the Windy City. I am the Rob from Chicago, not the other one.
Chicago, the home.
We don't talk about the other one.
The home of the Dark Knight trilogy.
And Robert Pattinson again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Robert. They filmed a little bit near the train station, where I always depart if I go downtown.
Oh shit! Right? Is that like?
Yeah.
Is that the place where fucking that corrupted politician gets like beaten by the Riddler in his car?
Yeah. No. That one I don't know where that was. It was mostly through establishing shots of Bruce riding in his pod or the Batbike and Catwoman as well. It's one of those, like, every time I watch that movie, there's this weird moment where I can tell which city it is, like scene by scene, and I find that distracting. It's like, okay, that's Chicago, that's Scotland, that's New York, and we're back in Glasgow. Oh, we're in Chicago again. Hey, I've been there. Okay, now we're in a set. I'm confused.
You know, I showed Batman '89 to my friend Owen, and this was like after we went to go see, which I'll talk about later. I went to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think I'll be seeing that sometime next week.
Yeah, I'll give you like some quick thoughts on that. I won't spoil anything. But after we saw that, we went back to his place, and I brought. Well, the reason why I brought it was because I knew I was going to get this, but I went in before I went to the cinema. I went to go get the McFarlane Toys Michael Keaton Batman at my local.
Oh, right.
Shop. So I was like, shit, if I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna bring the Blu-ray with me so I can watch it later. So, and I got that, and I got the unmasked Robert Pattinson Batman there because it was the last one there, and I was like, you know what, for McFarlane,
Gerard Way Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, you know what, and like McFarlane toys are pretty hit or miss, but this head sculpt for Robert Pattinson is actually quite spot on. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get this shit. So I got that in Keaton, and I was pretty happy. And like we both discussed this, that the McFarlane toys Flash Batman looks a bit weird.
The Ben Affleck one or
the Keaton one?
Oh yeah.
Like, well,
yeah.
Both look fucking weird. The Ben Affleck one is probably worse because it looks absolutely nothing like.
You
Ben
already
Affleck.
made a head sculpt. Why you made a different one?
Yeah, and not to mention, you already made a head sculpt that's accurate to Ben Affleck. Why the fuck does this one just look like a generic Batman cowl? Like.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
It's still clearly, I mean, we haven't seen a proper shot of it yet, besides him just moving around a lot or him driving. But you can still clearly tell it's Ben Affleck.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, or it's the Ben Affleck suit,
Yeah, but what
just worse.
But what I was saying was like, yeah. So I got that, and then when I went back to his, and we watched the Batman '89. Owen like immediately said like, I really love this Gotham City because it really does feel like completely like its own. It has its own identity. Like, you don't familiarize it with like Chicago or Glasgow. It's just a really well built. Well, obviously it's a set, but it's like really great. And even this time, it was like
it did what I think Matt Reeves wanted to do with his Gotham, but it didn't work. Matt Reeves wanted that Gotham to be like, oh, well, I want this to look like a city you're familiar with, but make it look like something you've never seen before. Which you can't do that when you just show, here's New York, Chicago, and Glasgow, and combine them together, it's the same city, and yay!
I personally think, right, that the best Gothams are, number one, the Burton films. I've actually really grown to really appreciate the Joel Schumacher Gotham for what it is.
I do too. I do too. I've always loved it.
Yeah, for what it is, and it's like completely embracing comic book neon type of Gotham, and I love it.
It just says "fuck it."
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of neon goons.
Here's
Never seen that before.
Here's a fucking literally ripped ass statue of a dude holding a globe, shit like that.
Holding an observatory.
Yeah.
I mean, I will admit it got a little crazy at Batman and Robin, but Batman Forever had a nice medium with it, where it's like, this is a city, but this is really unlike anything we've ever seen before, and it was imaginative. It was creative.
I could actually believe that city turning into like a Batman Beyond type of city.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's. Well, Arkham Knight, I think, was a good medium between realistic Schumacher and Burton.
I was literally going to say that,
it's still a city.
Like, Forever's Gotham does remind me a lot of Arkham Knight a bit, but that one was more realistic.
Like, there was even news reports saying Arkham Knight just turned Joel Schumacher's Gotham, but, like, cooler, or something like that. It made it cool.
Yeah.
And I was always one of those people that's like, it was always cool. I was almost ashamed to admit that I liked it.
Yeah.
But,
I think
everything about those aesthetics I really love.
I think I actually, for some reason, and it's just probably the vibe of the whole film, but I actually kind of like the Gotham and Joker. Funny enough, like I know,
oh really?
I know it is basically just New York, basically.
It's 1970s New York.
Yeah, but there's like it's the vibe of it I kind of really like. I don't know.
Well, there was more work, I think, into making that look different. Even though, yes, it's clearly New York, but if you watched behind the scenes and you saw them like tracing building outlets and adding shit that realistically looked like they put giant mountains in the New York skyline, which New York doesn't have any mountains. Well, not in the city at least. And I think that really works.
Yeah,
I could kind of see how that would be like a favorite.
Do you actually think the Gotham in... Well, actually, the Gotham in the Snyderverse is just... I mean...
Yeah.
It's like...
I was disappointed by it.
Yeah.
Like, we only really saw a good look of it in those fucking Turkish Airlines ads.
That and...
you saw an Ace like chemicals thing, and that's really it. Some different colored spotlights.
We had like a minuscule vibe of what it could be like being there, in like I'd say the scene where the cops go to that like abandoned place with the chicks and the ladies in the cell.
Yeah, that was just one spot though. That was just one location.
That, and when Clark goes into like in the Ultimate Cut, he goes into like one of the apartments.
Right.
Yeah, so like that's the kind of vibe I suppose you'd get. But like, yeah, in general it was just kind of whatever.
With the fact that it was like Metropolis was Chicago and Gotham seemed like it was New York. I'm sorry, not New York, Detroit. Since they're like that, like kind of, because Chicago, us and Detroit are kind of like that. We're like across from like a little, not a river, but like
I kind of
that's what it seemed like, but I hated that.
I kind of wish Snyder actually probably did more type of gritty shit with the city that he did with Watchmen.
I did too. That's why I was kind of excited to see how Snyder would have handled Batman until he made that whole prison comment. Growing up is realizing, like, here's what happened truly. Like, we jumped in the Snyder train. We either loved or hated Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. There wasn't really a medium yet. Or no, actually no, there was a medium. Then BVS came out, and you either really loved it or you really hated it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Justice League happened, and we were kind of ready for the Snyderverse to kind of be going away and have a different approach, but they weren't doing anything with either Batman or Superman.
Yeah.
Then finally, the Snyder Cut comes out, and we all jump back in the Snyder train. We all want the Snyderverse to be restored. Now, we're so happy it's going away.
Well, I mean, SnyderCon was literally just last week.
SnyderCon was last week, but I didn't know about it till it happened. I didn't hear anything about it. Yeah. I only knew about CinemaCon.
Yeah.
That's the only one people cared about because they were like, this is done. This is a sinking ship. It's over.
It's a sinking ship. Yet someone who has clearly made his his statement on saying he's finished the role fucking shows up at Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I tried to watch that, and I just got so... It was, first of all, I'm going to feel like a dick for saying this, and I'll clarify. It felt cringy to me. Not in a way of like, look at these losers. Oh, cringe. Not like that. It cringed in a way where like, oh, this hurts.
Yeah.
Because Snyder is done with it, I think. He doesn't really want to work with Warner Brothers anymore. Or maybe, I don't know. But he's done with DC. Affleck has stated countless times that he's done. So why he's there, I don't know. And what kind of questions are they being asked? What would happen in Justice League 2? Or will you work with Chris Terrio again? And Zach would just be like, oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, if he ever wants to work together, yeah.
Yeah, shit like that. And you know, as I was stating, Ben Affleck fucking showing up, even though he's said he's done with the role. But like, he shows up, right?
It's wild.
He shows up, and he sits there with a face like a smacked ass, because every time he gets asked like, what would your Batman film be like? Well, you know, aside from Deathstroke, what villains would
he would get annoyed, right?
He wouldn't be like, I wouldn't say annoyed, but he was really like very just quick with his answers and being like, yeah, well, basically, you know, the way the story was structured, you know, I wanted to do this, that, and and you know, he didn't really seem that enthusiastic about the way he answered it. He just seemed very like...
Well, you want to know why? It's not a movie he's working on anymore.
Yeah, I suppose.
So why he even showed up there?
Yeah.
What did he think was going to happen? That's all people are going to want to talk about. They don't want to be like, tell us about Air.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't give a shit about a movie about Michael Jordan shoes. So... Yeah. I haven't seen it yet. From all accounts, it's good. But still, that's not what people really care about.
I was literally about to go see that movie Air like a couple of weeks ago, and this is when Benj was over, and we were going to go see it. But then that's when I saw on the cinema that they were doing the re-release of Superman the movie, and I was like, fuck Air, I'm going to go watch Superman instead. But, yeah, I mean, I heard it's alright.
Yeah, it's basketball. What do you expect with basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, it's sad to see that the Snyderverse is over, but it seems like this is it. It's over. They have no intentions of even bringing it back to comic book form, which I think that's the perfect way to do it.
Look, I was just gonna say, Snyder says it like, I'm pretty sure like you said he's done with it, but he doesn't actually let it fully sink, because he'll say shit like, when someone asked him literally about what happened, what was the story between you know, with your Robin and your universe and whatever the fuck, and Snyder will literally sits there and be like, well, I won't say it in full detail because there still could be a chance that story could be told.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he literally said that. Literally.
Ooh.
So it's like he won't not.
Who wants to tell him?
Yeah, like he won't let it sink. You know, like that's what I mean. The guy just won't let it drop.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
And like when people ask him shit like,
no offense, Mr. Snyder, but you're living in a fucking dream world.
Oh my god. You know, like, you sound exactly like, what you call him?
Let me tell you what happens to Batman in prison.
Dude, I mean, like, at the start of that SnyderCon, right, that guy, I mean, like, when the comment, like, they did a commentary for Man of Steel, more or less, and I swear to...
Oh, with Film Junkie.
Yeah, oh my god, when I saw he was there, I swear to god, A, I was laughing my ass off, B, I was like... Of course it's this motherfucker. He's literally Zack...
Because who else would you get?
It's literally...
We gotta get Grace Randolph?
It's literally Zack Snyder's, like, twin brother. Literally. They
have similar personalities.
They have similar vibes. And there was, like, literally... The Film Junkie, he did a little vlog afterwards with him and Snyder behind like, on the backstage and some shit, talking about whatever. And the way they were... like jumping off on each other, it was literally like yin and yang, you know. They were it just
you know who he should have got?
Who?
Kevin Smith. Although Although he is dealing with a lot, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Like currently, I'm not sure if it would be the best time.
I mean, they did.
But I'm sure maybe it was an intention.
They did fucking do a thing together. They did that like.
They did many things together.
Yeah.
He did a Blu-ray celebration party of Man of Steel where he invited the cast.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
To talk about what happened,
Yeah.
and that's where Zack Snyder just like showed Kevin's the first look of Ben Affleck as Batman. He also did the Dawn of the Justice League thing that they did in the CW where they were talking about the movies that we will never see.
Yeah.
Then Kevin Smith joined up the bandwagon to celebrate on HBO Max to celebrate the release of the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So Kevin Smith was always a Snyder fan.
Yeah,
He even defended the cast of Jesse Eisenberg as Luthor. So
yeah,
he defended it, and he still couldn't convince me, but he tried.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah, man, it's a shame to see that where this universe is going. I feel like this world had a lot of potential, but
oh man, it had so much potential.
It was mishandled by the person who ran it, which there's nothing wrong with it. George Lucas has done it many times. The only thing is that George Lucas was able to get away with it because he was original creator. He was the original creator of the whole world when Snyder was just playing with a $1 billion franchise. And they just would have let him tell the story. Again, it would work better if it was through animation. And I'm not talking like these lazy animations that we've been getting lately. I was actually rewatching Long Halloween Part 1 last night.
Yeah.
And I still say with these new animated movies, that's still the best one.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's written like a live action movie and you can tell. That's where most of the budget went. But I'm not a fan of that animation style. What they should do, if they ever continue the Snyderverse in some animated form, the Castlevania series on Netflix?
Yeah, yeah.
It should be run with that style of animation, with that animation team.
Oh, yeah. I can definitely see.
It would look... Just imagine black suit Snyder Superman in that animation.
Yeah, and like...
It would look good.
And like...
It would look good.
Snyder's already, like, quite familiar with doing animated projects. Like, he did the bloody... Well, obviously he made that Guardians of the Gahul movie, and he also did the 2D animation for the Watchmen, like, ultimate cut with the Black Fighter, whatever the fuck.
He also, he also, I think his team animated that bit in Titans Go.
That's right, and you were even saying to me the other day when I sent it, when we were obviously discussing about the Snyderverse and shit. I sent you that clip, and you were saying that the animation for that was really good.
It was. You could do that. I feel like that's a great way to continue that universe because it's already fucking fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get away with more shit in animation, I think.
Absolutely.
But I know the argument is technically we already got it with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, stupid title.
Oh yeah.
But that movie was technically what the Snyderverse was, which I'm like, not good enough.
No.
Not good enough.
But the sole purpose of, the main topic of what we will be talking about this episode is going to be our sort of reboot or version of what the DCEU should have been.
More or less.
More or less,
that's what mine is, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, like, I do have a version of a universe in mind. It probably not as set in stone as what, like, the way you're going to describe it. I feel like for a majority of this podcast, whenever we do talk about it, I'll let you discuss yours more in detail, because mine isn't necessarily, like, what I envisioned for the DCU. It was more or less the vision I had for a general Justice League trilogy I had when I was very younger, rather than when I went to go see Man of Steel. This is what I was imagining. But like, I know with you've got set in stone ideas for phases, and you've got concept art and shit, which I'm sure if you send me them, I'll put them up on the episode so people can see
each
them.
Topic that I'll mention, I'll send a photo of kind of describing what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's basically the main topic we'll be talking about this episode. So it'll be really great. We've got a couple of we just had a long ramble about Gotham City and the Snyderverse, so that's always obviously a great way to start us off. But there's also a couple of other shit we'll probably I want to just give quick things on before we jump into that thing. Which I suppose we'll start off with quite recently. They've just released a new Flash trailer and they've screened the movie for early viewers at CinemaCon.
And I've probably heard one negative review.
Yeah, one negative review, and a majority of the people saying that it's all great except the third act is a bit of a mess.
Yeah, that was the only negative review I heard, where there was it's emotional with the first act, has a very strong first act. Keaton is great as Batman. The final act is where it's convoluted and it's messy. And genuinely, that's how I imagine the movie. Not saying I want this movie to have negative response. I don't. I want it to succeed. But I just feel like there's a lot against this movie.
Yeah, and
during the filming, the production, the drama, all of it.
With probably how many times the third act was probably rewritten, it's no wonder that it is a bit of a mess.
This movie was 10 years in the making. Mm-hmm. Not this exact movie, but a Flash movie was 10 years in the making because a studio and a couple of directors could never agree on each other. Yeah. And it all involved a very controversial casting decision, which, unfortunately, I feel like still to this day, I think he's fine. I just don't think he's perfect for the role.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've said this before, but I've said it to you, but I always felt like Ezra Miller should have been Wally West in these films, especially just not just for the sake of differentiating it more from the CW show, because that already has a Barry Allen, but also because the character that they wanted, which was a very young Flash who was more kiddie and making quips and making mistakes and shit, that's more Wally West than anything, really. Or even
they wrote him like Wally West.
Yeah.
His suit, the first few concepts of that suit was basically the same lightning bolt that Wally has.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a Wally, but I guess just for the sake of because Barry Allen's the more popular one, we're gonna do Barry Allen.
More popular one, and I suppose it's because in their eyes he's the more we could do a Flashpoint, which is what they ended up.
It would make sense to do a Flashpoint with Barry than it would with Wally.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to mention, Barry just has a more interesting origin story than Wally, I suppose, with having his mother killed.
And I get that, character development is a thing.
Yeah.
And it seems like Barry's going to be a little bit more mature in this movie compared to the other clone Barry they're going to have, so that you're going to see the two differences. Mm-hmm. Well, the rest of us, all that's really doing is giving us one too many Ezra Millers.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? On that note, I swear to God, every review I've seen is literally just people actually fucking going out of their way, even with every controversial thing, and even them stating that Ezra Miller gives a phenomenal performance in this movie.
I'm sure he does. I mean, he had a mental breakdown while filming it.
Yeah,
because he only had 3 days off the entire production. And remember, this movie has been in production hell since probably, I want to say, late 2020.
Yeah.
Because at the time we didn't even know if Keaton was going to be in it.
Yeah.
Which it was because they said, well, if we can't get Keaton, we're going to get Bale. Think about that. If we didn't get Keaton, we would have gotten a Bale reunion. And just how different would that movie be now?
It definitely, I don't think would work.
No,
it just wouldn't.
Keaton is because his arc wasn't finished yet.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Bale's is.
Yeah.
Bale's Batman has a start, middle, and an end.
And not to mention,
he's done.
I've said Bale's Batman would probably be the worst Batman you can go and get, because he was Batman for
I think so.
He was the he comparatively to any other Batman, the foes he's faced, the only challenging ones he has fought is Ra's al Ghul, I guess, and Bane. Aside from those,
Bane.
Aside from those, he's just been fucking dealing with crooks, you know, general shit like that. And not to mention, in terms of experience, he's only been Batman for like 2 years max.
Yeah, that's insane.
That is like insane. Like, for what Nolan was going for, it's realistic, I guess, that a dude would generally probably do this for 2 years without getting killed, which is still pushing it a bit, but still. But yeah, if you're going to make a Flash movie and you want him to team up with a Batman to help him with this crisis in the timeline, going to Bale would be like fucking turning back to Donald Trump to like go back for the election or some shit.
you would be, it would be like going to a Muppet, basically. Yeah. Being like, help us. And the Muppet's just like, but I'm a puppet. What the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm saying I like to make that joke because he moves like a Muppet. But I feel like that just does not sound interesting.
No.
I'd
fucking take.
Somebody even made a good point saying that he's also the. Somebody said he's the worst Batman because which is a bold statement, but because the death of his parents is what gets him to become Batman. Mm-hmm. But the death of his girlfriend makes him quit. Yeah. Wouldn't you want to make sure you keep fighting to make sure that doesn't happen to somebody else? Wouldn't you want to just... Somebody said what should have happened is this is not where Batman dies. This is where Bruce Wayne dies. Now he's totally Batman. Yeah. There is no Bruce Wayne. But instead they went with Herman.
That's so true.
They went with Hermit the Crab, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, if Rachel died, that should have been the end of Bruce.
Yeah.
That would have been way more...
And that's when Selina comes in, I guess.
That would have been way more fucking interesting than what they did.
I guess they were like, oh, they both died.
Sure. Bruce Wayne was retired longer than he was Batman. That is...
8 years, did they say?
Yeah, 8 fucking... My God.
Years?
Dude.
8 years. Do you know how long 8 years is? It's 8 fucking years.
That is insane. Like, as a kid, I thought it was so, you know, edgy and cool. I was like, my God, he's been retired for 8 years. Now he's just like, you know, he's just going back to be Batman. It's going to be awesome. But now when I think about it, I'm like, you're fucking pathetic, dude.
And it's like, are they doing Dark Knight Returns? Yeah. Kind of, almost?
That was probably why I thought it was cool. Because I was like, oh, it's like Dark Knight Returns. It's so cool. But no, like, I mean, at least in Dark Knight Returns, he was Batman for, like, over 30 years before he retired.
And that's why I think when Ben Affleck came by, there was a big middle finger to Nolan that make sure that Ben perfectly tells the audience he's been Batman for 20-something years.
And he's not retired.
The death of Robin would not make Batman retire.
No, absolutely not.
It wouldn't. It would not. That's why I have a little bit of a problem with Dark Knight Returns. Like, that's not why he would retire. And I'll get to why I think he wouldn't retire when we talk about my Phase 1.
Oh, shit. So you do have a Batman who retires.
No, he doesn't retire.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna describe why he wouldn't.
Right. Okay. This will be interesting.
Just because, why would he? Mm-hmm. What the only thing he would do is just not have another sidekick. And and you know, having Ezra as Flash, the only way he was like that is they wanted to give Bruce a childlike character. But it's like, well, give him Robin. Well, we killed Robin, and give him another one.
Yeah, I know it's.
Get him another one. He has more than one. Well, we killed Dick Grayson. Well, that's not the one that died. Why?
Yeah.
Stupid.
It is stupid.
There was stupid decisions on Snyder. I love the Snyder cut. It's one of the better DC movies I've seen compared to some of the other ones we've gotten. But what was stupid is still stupid. That's it. So genuinely, knowing that that's not canon anymore, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
More than fine with that.
But yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, I think ultimately we can just agree that, you know, we're thankful that they actually did go with Keaton for this. And
oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's no better compare. Like, who else you got to get? Clooney? Well, we might.
Dude, I mean, I was just gonna say, as we were talking about Christian Bale, I would have taken George Clooney coming back than Bale coming back.
Well, he might be in it.
Yeah,
we
I mean,
don't know.
look. Here's a little. It could be a spoiler, could be not, but apparently at the end of this movie, there's gonna be retro styles of Superman and Batman that appear that are just cameos, but they're not played by Ben Affleck or Henry Cavill. From what it could be George Clooney and Nicolas Cage.
Good Jesus Christ!
And Nicolas Cage Superman is apparently fighting a giant
fucking robot spider.
Yeah.
You know anything about spiders? Well, they're the most fiercest killers in the animal kingdom. What's it got to do with our Superman? You know anything about polar bears? So let me tell you about polar bears.
Oh my god.
Good lord. That's I guess we'll see. I'm gonna hold my opinions until we see it, but so we're really gonna get, like, if it's true, we're really gonna get a canceled Superman over Grant Gustin.
I know, like, literally, I mean, the fact that they actually literally came out and even said that they had a list of
He's not in
this, and they had a list of characters to, like, to select for this film. You wouldn't think that the Flash that everyone more or less prefers, knows more, and is just generally worldwide beloved despite the show's quality, is the Grant Gustin Flash, and you didn't think to at least show him briefly? I mean, fucking Titans recently showed the Flash in their shit.
Oh Jesus, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And not to mention, it's been established as well that the Grant Gustin's universe and the DCEU Ezra Miller universe, whatever the fuck it is now, they are in the same multiverse type of shit because they've interacted.
They were in the same scene.
Same scene. I don't know if that will be even fucking mentioned in this movie. I don't know, but
it would have to be.
Yeah,
it would have to be.
It's that as well.
But if they don't bring it, what are they gonna do? Just show that scene?
There's that too, and then there's also the point, right? And I was gonna bring this up eventually, but like I want to talk about, because they just did an episode recently of The Flash where they bring back Stephen Amell, and he's as they established at the end of Crisis, he's the Spectre now. He's dead, and he's basically the protector of the multiverse and shit. So whenever any fuckery happens, which happens in this new episode of The Flash, basically Stephen Amell, the Arrow, comes back and he's like, right, I gotta fix this shit because that's my job. So you'd think and that's basically like, he's basically the protector of the multiverse, right? So some shit. So like with everything that's happening in this Flash movie, you think it would make sense for him to be involved in this shit, or at least I mean, obviously he's not going to appear because it's fucking stupid to begin with. But
why would they just bring him back for one episode if this is the final episode, like final season of all these shows?
Yeah, I know.
He should be in this. They rushed so much of that episode.
Yeah.
They crammed his entire comeback in and out. It just what should have been 4 episodes into 1 episode. That's why I think, even though it's great to see him back, I think that episode is ass.
That episode should have been an arc, just like the previous. That should have been an arc of the episode instead of that fucking, was it Red Death? The fuck that was? Scrap that arc or some shit.
I didn't even bother watching.
Yeah,
it.
Me neither. No,
I didn't even bother.
They've just,
which contradicts me probably bitching about that show, but I've watched reaction videos on YouTube.
Look, I mean, like, me and Rob were just even discussing this before we started the podcast, but they've just started the finale arc for the Flash season, and it's, like, it's surprisingly really fucking good, which is really good to hear, and it's, like, a completely, like, in terms of, like, the
night and day.
Night and day in terms of the writing of the dialogue between characters and the stakes and just shit like that, and it kind of has a very much a full circle effect of Barry Allen being like, it has the moment in season 1 where the Barry Allen stops himself from saving his mom and letting her die, which is a really, really great standalone episode that reminds you a lot of the first season of The Flash, which was great. So I'm hoping it could be an effect of like the final season of Clone Wars, where like the first episodes were just whatever the fuck.
Mid.
Yeah, mid to fuck. Where, well, in this case, the Flash, they're completely horrible. But like, we're all here for those final few episodes. And for the Clone Wars, it was that final arc, which was like, the tie-in to Revenge of the Sith. I'm hoping that could be the case for The Flash, where these final 4 episodes are just a great standalone finale you could watch on its own, like a mini-movie. And it's just really great storytelling. And this first episode of the finale was a great start, and hopefully it carries on.
No, I swear to God, if they turn him into the fucking lightning bolt that gave him his powers, I swear to God, I don't understand why people love that.
Yeah, it's...
I don't understand why that's what Grant wants to do. He said, I like that theory a lot.
I was honestly thinking about that earlier. That kind of sounds a bit depressing, right? That the end of...
Not only does it sound depressing, it's just going to go on loop for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, exactly the fuck. I mean, it's kind of sad to think that at the very end of Barry's life, he doesn't grow old to have a wife, to have a kids with Nora. He probably does for a short bit. But ultimately, he will become the lightning bolt that strikes him. And he has to live 10 seasons of his life again. Probably the first 2 years being fairly good to decent, and then the latter half being complete ass.
It's just gonna go in circles. That's why I hate this fucking Destiny shit. Mm-hmm. Like when it comes to like comic books, mostly comic books. I'm sure there's some Destiny stuff where like you were destined to be this. I'm sure a lot of it works. So I love it in Star Wars, but in comic books, I feel like it should be very.
Do you know who it doesn't work for? Which I mean, thankfully, well, I will say I do love these movies, but The Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker being
doesn't work for Spider-Man.
Destined,
it doesn't work for Superman. I like the fact that Superman is he's just the guy. He just wants to do the right thing, and because he's just kind-hearted.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for, okay, it kind of works for Batman, but it also doesn't work for the Flash, Barry Allen. I do not like that idea of. They even said this in the pilot when Arrow is like, I don't think that lightning bolt just shocked you, Arrow. I think it shows you. Disgustingly cringe. That, absolutely not. No. No. No.
I think probably another character I'd say works with the Destiny route would be probably Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. I'd say they work with it being like Destinies for them, because it'd be like the ring is obviously it's chosen a specific person for these qualities that they have.
Well, here's my argument with that. It's like, you could say that like the ring, especially with Abensurs, it's that just find anybody that has, the will to overcome fear.
Yeah.
But I always like to make the argument that Hal Jordan is still a gaping butt pussy.
Yeah.
So why he even chose him, I don't know. I mean, Jon Stewart makes the most sense to me. That's why Jon Stewart's my favorite Green Lantern.
Absolutely.
Kyle Rayner makes the most sense to me. He's everyone's favorite Green Lantern that nobody cares about. By the way, if you hear lawn work outside, because there's lawn work outside.
Oh, that's fine.
Just in case. But also, I don't always like to trust the... Okay. I also don't like to trust the logic of the rings, because it also got fucking Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
So I don't think the rings have the best judgment.
That's true.
To be fair, it's mostly the Guardians. They don't have the best judgment.
Say one last person. I will say does work with Destiny would be Diana, right?
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
that works. Okay, that's true. That works.
Diana works. But overall, what you were saying about the whole characters with Destiny.
Really quick, though, unless it's Zack Snyder's version of Wonder Woman, who apparently is half Kryptonian, because Zeus is Kryptonian, even though he is, 7'5", and he can fart a lightning. What other Kryptonian does that? I don't care how many years ago that was. Mr. Zack Snyder, if you are watching this... I love you. I love your movies. I'm a big fan of your work. Don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say here. You're doing the Norse mythology thing. I fucking dig that shit. I want to see that shit. That shit is stupid, though. Leave Zeus alone.
I swear...
Zeus is not a Kryptonian. He's a god that fucks everything.
I swear to fucking God. Snyder will literally pull.
You're just pulling shit out your ass now.
Literally, yeah, they are just pulling shit out their ass. Like literally, at SnyderCon, he will say shit like that. It was probably the first time he even came. He would probably thought of it on the spot, and then
he probably just exactly. He's on some mushrooms, probably being like, oh, I don't fucking know.
And then his fucking one of his like producers or friends next to him go like, oh yeah, that's right, and also fucking. Zeus or whatever the fuck was the one that put the scout ship in the fucking North Pole. That
give me.
They literally said that, and I was like,
give me a fucking break. Give me a break.
It's the reason why it's there.
You're living in a fucking dream world. Oh, we're also gonna say one thing. The comedian is actually not dead, and he's Thomas Wayne. That's why you see them in the same scene. It's the same. It's like poetry. It's meant to write. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my inspiration: George Lucas.
George Lucas.
It's like a totem pole. It's a totem pole. It's meant to rhyme.
Fucking hell.
Fuck the Snyderverse. God, I'm mad about it now. James Gunn, do your fucking job. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with losing Henry Cavill now. I'm fine with it. Do whatever the fuck you want. Get rid of this shit. Your movie better make me fucking cry. I swear to God.
You know what? I will say this on the topic of.
Oh, you saw it. That's right. You said you saw it.
I saw Guardians 3, and on the topic, the thing I said to myself even after watching that movie, I was like, I hope the Superman movie makes me feel the emotions that I felt during this movie.
I want an emotional. You saw that thing I sent you, right? Where they're talking about they really want to try to put in a Superman game.
Yes.
For Superman Legacy, and because the intention was we wanted to give the audience other ways to hang out with Superman.
Yeah.
That is the best way to fucking word that. That is the best way to fucking word that. Like, you're not just Superman. You're hanging out with him. You are just living the life with him. You don't want to slit your wrist watching him. And that's Zack Snyder's Superman.
Yep.
Oh, God. Leave Wonder Woman alone. Wonder Woman has nothing to... She's not... Is being a Greek god not enough?
I don't know.
At this point, Joker might as well be Jason Todd.
Oh my fucking God!
He might as well be at this point.
Shit. You know, yeah, they should have just
He might as well be. Who cares?
They should have just gone full on saying fuck it with everything. We were talking about fucking Barry Allen pretty much being Robin to Batman. Fuck it, make him Robin. Don't even fucking make him Flash. At the end of Justice League, just make him Robin, and he's
all of a sudden just. The kid, like, the end of the movie, new universe. Flash comes in, we don't see the face, we see the gold blue, takes off the mask, it's Jared Leto.
Jesus Christ.
But this time, he's the only Barry Allen with blonde hair.
Oh my God. Jesus.
God damn.
Yeah. So Destinies don't work
DC,
with superheroes.
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. Good God. Zack Snyder, I love you, but you give me a headache.
Yeah. I knew a rant of the Snyderverse or whatever term it was going to be.
This is the acceptance. We've been through the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
This is the acceptance. We're over it now. Look, people want to ask what being a veteran DC fan is like. Look at me. Fucking look at me. Do you see this? I'm fucking miserable.
I'm telling you.
What's worse is being a Star Wars fan. I am also that. Look at me.
In 10 years' time, I swear to God, this Snyderverse will still be talked about, and Snyder will still be pulling shit out of his ass saying something like,
10 years' time, Superman's gonna be public domain. So that means Zack Snyder's gonna get his Superman, whether we like it or not.
Is that true?
Yes. Batman and Superman will be public domain within 10 years.
So does that mean I can fucking make a Superman movie?
Dude, anyone can make a Superman
movie. And I don't have to deal with
The people who made Winnie the Pooh a serial killer can make a Superman movie.
I don't have to fucking deal with copyright anymore?
No. At least I think it's 10 years. It's either 10 years or 15 years. But either way, it's coming.
Fucking, okay, right.
It's good.
In that case,
it's gonna happen.
Whenever it happens, I'm fucking, I'm changing my identity to Clark Kent and Superman. That's just fucking it.
Might as well. Might as well. This is what it's got us into now.
It was my destiny to be Superman.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, that just gave me some cringe Smallville vibes.
Oh my god, yes.
It's my birthright!
That was probably the most, like...
And I decide my fate!
Oh... Look, Tom Welling, he's a hit or miss actor, I will say.
I would say he's more of a hit in the later seasons.
Yes.
But there were still some pretty...
moments like that.
Not his fault, but...
It was just the writing.
Not his fault. Yeah, that's... I think that people are realizing that now. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know. At least he's able to...
Maybe the direction was like, yeah, Tom, do what you want.
You know what? At least he's aware of it, because he's pointed it out many times, the faults he feels like he has in the show.
It's fun watching him talk about it now.
Yeah, you think it's hard?
No, I'm saying it's fun to watch.
Oh, right, fun. I thought you said it was hard to watch him.
No. I'm saying no. It's fun to watch him talk about it now with Michael.
Yeah. Michael just like
Smallville podcast. They do.
Michael literally he funny I do like Michael's approach because he just doesn't. He has not like watched these episodes fully. He's just started on them and shit.
He lived them.
He lived them.
Doesn't
so he doesn't give a
fuck. He lived them.
So it's fun to actually see him watch these episodes and him like from his point of view now saying, "This episode's a fucking piece of shit. What the fuck was I doing? This is fucking stupid." He'll literally just say shit like that. He doesn't care, and you'll phone up like Al and Miles Tell like with the writers of the show, and you'll be like, "Yo, what the fuck happened to this episode? Why is this shit?" Or something, they'll do shit like that.
Well, if anyone could get away with that, it's Michael Rosenbaum.
I love Michael Rosenbaum, and I'm so
he's great.
I'm so happy to actually see him actually have a few lines of dialogue in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, does he? That's good to hear.
Good to hear, yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually make...
Yeah, I love Michael
They
a lot.
make it more, like, when you see him, you could actually kind of tell that it's Michael Rosenbaum a bit. Like, they make the facials a bit...
I saw they changed it a little bit. A lot of people were upset with how it looks. I'm like, I think it looks... They both look fine. Who cares?
Do you even know who this character is? Sorry? Do you even know who this...
No. I know he voiced a ice character.
No, but I mean like the general public, like they're complaining about.
Oh right,
they're complaining about they don't like.
Listen, if I don't know, then no one fucking knows.
Yeah, like the general public being upset about it. It's like, sorry, do you even know who this character is to begin with? Like, so shut the fuck.
No one even knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy was till they were in the movie.
So shut the fuck up and just be happy that he's there.
You don't know who this person is. You don't even know who the Miley Cyrus robot voice is now, who is now Tara Strong.
Yeah. I mean, like, literally, after I saw the movie, right, like I said, I had a bunch of like emotions throughout it. But my friend Owen, funny enough, he said he felt nothing throughout the whole movie. But he turned to me and he was like, "Man, you must because we also had another mate there. His name's Conan. He was there. And we were both, we love superheroes and comic books probably a bit more than Owen. But he turned to me. He's like, you probably had got more from this because you know all these characters and lore and shit. And I just turned to him like, dude, no, I probably know as much as you about the Guardians of the Galaxy. I just thought it was just pretty good. Like,
wow.
Yeah, but, quick tangent, I might as well talk about it. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and without going into spoilers, it was a good, more or less. It's not actually what I expected. I was expecting something a bit more tragic for some reason.
That's what everyone built it up to be. Is like, oh, it's one of the darkest ones they've released.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is a bit dark in a lot of ways. I was surprised by a lot of it, of how dark it did get.
Yeah.
I say, like, the most, like, people obviously have a prediction about who dies in this movie and some shit, and they do make it quite obvious in the trailers, and they kind of lean into it in the film. But throughout the movie, I did not think he would die, or whoever it was going to be. I thought it would be someone else, or whatever the fuck.
So you kind of know who's gonna die when you see it.
Well, no, I mean when you see it, they make you believe it's someone throughout the whole film, but then
it's someone else.
No, I'm really trying not to spoil it or anything. But it's like they subvert expectations in a way where it just
remember, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. They're watching
you. Okay, this is the troubles of living in the UK. You get to see these Marvel movies really early.
That's right.
But it's like it's like I said, it's not as tragic as I thought it was gonna be. But there's definitely a moment or two where I was generally a bit like, the fuck, what's going on? Or some shit like that.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, like, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was still, like, it's probably the best MCU movie since Endgame. You know? I said...
Not much competition.
Yeah, and look, I mean, like, No Way Home, I know people will be like, what about No Way Home? Dude, look, No Way Home was good, but that movie was saved by fan service and the villains and the Spider-Man.
Nostalgia. It's a pure nostalgia ride.
The story itself is, like, if it didn't have that factor, it'd be mid. It'd be whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It was saved by that shit.
Yeah. You could tell, especially with that line where Dr. Osborn's like, I'm a scientist myself. Like, okay.
Shit like that.
Yeah, you said it.
But this movie actually feels like since Endgame, it generally feels like a movie made by a filmmaker who has something to say and has a very specific vision. And I could tell watching this movie, I'd be like, I actually got me a bit excited to see him do Superman, because I was like, man, some of the visuals in this and the way he's doing these sequences, I can't wait to see what he does with Superman now. This could be sweet. And I suppose I should have.
Yeah.
I kind of had that mindset whenever I saw even the fucking Christmas special that was released, because like I said, it was like the first Marvel thing that had come out since Endgame where it actually felt pretty cool, but it was like a mini short thing, so it was very easy to forget about afterwards. And then obviously Gunn probably said a bit more controversial shit on Twitter that made me kind of lose that mentality towards him. But then I saw this and I was reminded again, I was like, James Gunn is generally a good fucking filmmaker. He is a great filmmaker. So, yeah, I have hope for him doing Superman, and what he did with this was great. And I'll say this movie has one of the best MCU action sequences I've ever seen.
I have heard there is a moment that's one of the best fight scenes in MCU history, and I'm like, okay.
You're the second person to tell me that everyone else was aware of it, because when I saw this movie, I didn't know that was a thing. I actually came out of this movie saying to myself, that was one of the best action sequences I've ever seen. So I didn't go in thinking that, a bunch of other people are saying this about this movie. I generally thought that. So I will tell you, it does have one of the best action sequences in the film. It's like, the way I described it was Netflix Daredevil meets Cosmic, was basically.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Hallway Daredevil meets Cosmic. Okay.
I don't know if you can hear that, but someone's car alarm is going off rudely during this recording.
It's probably a sign telling me I'm going too much into spoilers right now.
Oh, there he goes. Now it stopped.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I don't want to
watch it. It's spoiler talk.
Okay.
I'm reloading it many times. Oh shit!
But yeah, look, it was great. It was definitely a good send off to the Guardians, and these versions of the Guardians at least. And but yeah, like I said, I was a bit surprised by the end of it in terms of how it did end, more or less. I'm really it's kind of hard to really just talk about this
without giving away much spoilers. Could you see a possible future where they would come back? Just yes or no. Or do you think this is it for them?
Well, the thing is, for certain characters, yes, but for a majority, I can't really turn around to you and say I cannot see a reason or a particular reason why these characters would not return, or it'd be impossible for them to return. But it's also, I'm thinking about what the actors themselves have said after making this movie. Like Zoe Saldana saying, "This is the last time you'll see me as Gamora," or...
Well, Bautista seems like he's
done.
That's
what I mean. Bautista even said himself, I was only making these movies because of James Gunn. Now that he's done, I'm done. Whatever the fuck.
Right.
But outside of that, I can't really think of a reason why a majority of these characters would not return or cannot return or some shit like that.
Never say never. Yeah, that's what I say.
But yeah, I don't want to I don't want to talk about this for too much because like Rob hasn't seen it. Probably a lot of you haven't seen it or are seeing it right now. But whatever.
Well, it's out today, so go see it.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So that was like a completely. Wait, we were talking about the Flash trailer and some shit in early reviews.
A lot was discussed.
Yeah,
there.
This tends to happen a lot. We talk about a topic and then we just segue off. But circling back to the Flash trailer. I mean.
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay. You try and talk us back into it. I'm gonna run to the bathroom very quickly.
All right, yeah. So really, all I want to say about the Flash trailer is, I don't want them to show anything else. I feel like now because I've seen edits on Twitter. Oh, there goes that fucking car alarm again. Oh, yeah, you heard me. Shut up. Anyway, so there's been like people who make edits of like, oh, here's an extended look at the chase scene with Batfleck, and you watch it and you're like, shit, well, I think I just saw the whole thing. So now I feel like they should stop with the trailers now. But will they? No. And am I gonna not watch them? You know what? I probably will because I can't control myself. But I think they've showed all they needed to show. It looks good, looks fun.
They've showed all that
there's just a lot.
Sorry, like they've showed all
Go
that
ahead.
they've needed to show, but also what they've matured, like how they've marketed this movie is basically Michael Keaton's Batman. Even though
it's just Batman, it's just a Batman movie.
It probably, I'm probably gonna say this movie is probably not as Batman as they're advertising it to be. I think it might actually like generally be like, as people were saying, Ezra Miller does give a really good performance as the Flash. I'm gonna guess that this movie is definitely, it has more about the Flash than what we're thinking it will.
Here's a horrifying thought. What if all the Batman stuff we're seeing is the only Batman we see in the movie?
Oh my god.
Because you don't really want to advertise the Flash because it's Ezra Miller and they are a very controversial actor right now.
You know,
so like after all the shit they've done, here's Batman.
You were talking
here's more Batman.
You were talking about the trailer scene with us seeing a majority of the Ben Affleck chase scene.
Yeah, someone edited down the whole chase scene.
But I'm wondering, is that how we're going to see Wonder Woman factor in? Because isn't she meant to appear to save him?
I think after that shot where you see Batman, Batfleck flying, you have to. I forget. You have to talk about it. Which Batman? Sorry, because there's like how many Batman in this fucking movie? But when Batfleck is flying, more or less, that's the moment I think Wonder Woman's got to catch him. The reason why he's moving so weirdly
is because
I think that the golden lasso is carrying him, and they just edited it out.
Yeah,
because like he's moving in a way that nobody should move when they're flying, especially a man.
I recently did, I think it was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. As I'm recording this, I just uploaded a trailer edit of the Flash.
I saw that.
The Flash trailer, the retro style using the 90s Flash, and that was a really fun project actually. I remember for that specific shot, I knew exactly which shot I want to use, and I already said to myself, I had already kind of had like visioned out what this version of the movie would be. Instead of like Barry going back in time to stop his mom from dying, it would be completely different. It would be the Barry Allen traveling to the Keaton or Christopher Reeve universe to stop a crisis, basically. And I remember, like I said, I even said to you, for this movie, instead of like for the Affleck Affleck Batman equivalent, I'm going to use Clooney. And and for that specific shot that you were talking about, where Batman is like moving weirdly and it has a fire behind him and shit, I knew the exact shot I wanted to use for that shot was that moment in the trailer where where Batman, it's a Batman and Robin, where he like leaps and there's like as the thing is falling and he's about to jump down and do it and some shit. And I was like, I'm gonna use that shot for that shot. It was kind of funny. It was like I was like that throughout the trailer. Like I was really like, dissecting the trailer, and I knew exactly, because I didn't want to just make a retro trailer and just make a bunch of like random shots of these characters. I wanted to like specifically do a retro version of each shot that was in the actual trailer, basically. The equivalent of what we would get in the 90s. So like every shot was very specific and it wasn't just random, and that's basically what it was.
Right.
But yeah, it was a really fun it was really fun trailer to make.
No, that was a cool video. Yeah, man. I hope it's good. I hope we're gonna be seeing plenty of shit that we haven't expected yet, because I feel like they really don't want to put Ezra Miller in the advertisement so much, because they said they weren't. They said that they weren't gonna be involved in any of the marketing. He wasn't gonna promote the movie, which is insane. So they very much are basing this Flash movie that has the Flash's name on it on Michael's Batman.
Yeah.
And that's everyone wants Michael Keaton to return as Batman, but I feel like it's just unfortunate that this is it. So when it's good, it has to be good.
Michael Keaton's Batman recently, like they're really going on the hype of Michael Keaton Batman with everything right now, and he's even recently appeared in the Batman comics, literally in the issue 900.
Only for a quick second.
They did a fucking big like Batman into the Batverse, basically. They even showed Arkham Batman.
They showed Arkham Batman. They showed animated series Batman. They showed Adam West Batman, and you see him at the end. He visits the Dark Knight Returns Batman because that version makes him a new suit.
Yeah.
And with the Adam West belt, and there's a scene where he's fighting a giant shark, and he uses the shark repellent bat spray.
Oh my god. I didn't even know that.
And he calls the Adam West Batman, "I finally met another Batman that's more prepared than I am."
Oh wow.
That's awesome. So it was a nice little tribute to Adam
awesome.
West. And the anime series was cool. The Arkham was cool. Michael's Batman looked great.
The Arkham Batman was specifically after Arkham Knight too.
That's what's confusing.
It was after, because like I can't remember. I sent it to you earlier, but Batman makes a comment about the Joker. About even after he got public, the Joker still wasn't dead in his mind. Like it still lived on within him, or some shit like that.
Then what was the point of Arkham Knight?
I don't know. Like I sent you a link to a comic story in short that he talks specifically about that moment with the Arkham Batman.
Oh, actually, you know what? No, I can explain it.
All right.
Basically, I don't know what this. There's a character in this comic called the Red something.
He's the Joker, basically. Yeah.
He's the Joker, and his plan is he wants to be insane. Yeah. So, and he's going through the multiverse to revive all these different versions of the Joker. Yes. So the Arkham Knight ending was it was intact. Yeah. Like that was the point. But this version of Joker just brought back that version, and since that version was burnt alive, the only way it was that he could possibly come back is in Bruce's head.
Oh, so
when Bruce thought he was over him, I thought it was out. He pulls me back in.
Oh my god. Okay, right, all right.
So that's what they did. So it's a little that's sad.
Depressing.
Yeah. He'll never be free.
Yeah, Joker.
Oh, I could finally relax. Oh my god.
Joker is truly that, like, in the Arkhamverse, he's truly that ex that, like, has scarred you for your life. Like, no matter how hard you try to move on, he will always be there in your mind.
That more or less is, I think, the plot of A Serious House and Serious Earth, where that whole comic is a nightmare that Batman has. That's the idea. It's not canon.
Wait,
it's
are you
just
serious?
A reoccurring nightmare. It's a nightmare that Bruce has.
Holy fuck! I did not know that.
That's why he doesn't feel like Batman.
Wow.
Because that's why, like, when he's sick, he's saying, "Mom, mommy." And when there's that one issue where he pushes somebody down the stairs, it's just a dream. And I think he kills the Joker at the end of that. There was a concept that they had where Grant Morrison said, when we see the Joker the first time, I want him to be dressed in, like, a trans outfit. That's why, and because it's not actually happening. None of what you're seeing is actually happening. It's all in Bruce's head.
So you're telling me Batman has dreams about the Joker slapping in the ass?
Not full on slapping him. He's groping that left bat cheek.
Wow.
That thumb is deep in there. he what does he call Joker? A degenerate or something?
Oh.
He calls Joker something fucked.
Well, I guess Batman really does need to reach around from the Joker down. He really does.
Jared Leto was right. I'm telling you, Jared Leto's Joker would work when you clearly establish that he's based on Grant Morrison's Joker.
Oh my god, yes!
It could have worked! Because again, Jared Leto, I think the rumor is Jared Leto called Grant Morrison and say, tell me about your Joker. That's why he's like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's oh, and I forgot in that comic, Two-Face is nude the entirety of the comic, and when we introduce him, he soils himself.
Okay, Batman's dreams are really fucking weird now. Jeez.
Batman's dreams are fucking weird.
Fuck.
Batman's dreams are fucked. Did you see that that fan edit trailer someone did?
Like live action?
It's like an international. Yeah, like it's in Spanish. Yeah. Man, I want to see that.
I want to see that so bad. Oh my god,
so bad.
Dude, I would watch that movie even like if it was subtitled like that.
It has to be Spanish. It has to be subtitled, and you need the Danny Elfman soundtrack. Yes. That's the only way it would fucking work, because Danny Elfman's Batman soundtrack literally sounds like someone's going insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because Danny Elfman's a fucking genius.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we've been recording for an hour. Should we talk about our universes now?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we've said what we've had to say about the trailer and everything else. I feel like this is a good...
We said a lot of what we needed to say about certain things.
Yeah, so I feel like this is a good jumping in point.
You'll have time codes, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, which will be fun to edit, but...
Good luck doing that. That looks complicated.
It is complicated, and it's time consuming. Like, you don't just... It's not like you just record an episode and you just put it out there. You have to, like... Even if the episode is 3 hours, you gotta sit in that editing thing and watch that whole fucking thing.
I was gonna say, is it like you're editing a video twice? You first edit it through whatever program you have on your computer, then you have to edit it again when you're on YouTube, so you can put the time codes and certain other stuff in it?
My method of doing it is like, I'll edit it on the thing, and as I'm watching it, I will specifically like look at the time code, and I'll press pause, and I'll write in my notes, okay, such and such is at... This discussion's at this and this, so I'll put it in the description and shit. So I'll literally just do it that way instead of having to watch it twice. That'd be horrendous. So I just do it all in one.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And I can only tolerate my voice so much.
Listening to your own voice and recording is always hard, especially for me. It's like, oh no, absolutely no, God, why? Like, you want to do like a fucking voice filter just to make sure you sound better.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so now we're going to jump into the main topic. Before we do that, I'm going to pour myself probably here. Like, I think I did this at the beginning of the episode. And I was like, I should probably explain what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm making myself some basically blackcurrant and orange juice before we jump into a topic.
There you go. There you go.
I need this shit. It's my nighttime routine. I drink way too much of this shit. I mean, like, it's like, you know, it's like that really strong diluted juice, and you have to put water in it.
Yeah.
Like, I will literally have that much.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then I'll fill the rest up with water, which is, you know, I do like it really sweet, but I have a problem.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, you only have one life. Enjoy it to its fullest.
Unless you're the Flash.
Yes. And then
unless you're anybody in DC, they'll just reboot you when your life gets too complicated. I wish someone would reboot me every time my life gets too complicated.
Unless you're the Flash, and then your life ends with you turning into a lightning bolt that strikes you 10 years ago.
I would rather be Ezra Miller. I would rather be Ezra Miller.
You'd rather be in Hawaii picking fights with women in back alleys. Do you want to fight? Is that what you want to do? You want to fight?
You want to fight? Is this what you want? Don't touch. That's my penis.
Jesus Christ. Right. Okay. So, DCU. How are we gonna start this? I feel like perhaps you can start us off with your pitch.
I'll go first. All right. Well, if anyone's followed me on DeviantArt, I have been posting continuous like concept arts and concept designs of something that I called my DCEU, which I might just call my DCU because you know what, DCU just rolls better from the tongue. The extra E just sounds insulting.
Yeah.
I have thought this through in my head since probably when BVS came out. Like I've always kind of had my own idea. Like in my early days of YouTube, a lot of my like DC stuff that I did, I just said it was a continuation of Smallville.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So like I did a fan film called Superman's Last Stand. That it was all the death of Superman, Return of Superman, but based on Smallville. The Batman, I said I think the only difference was instead of Bruce Clark growing up with Oliver, he grew up with Bruce. Bruce was his friend. That was probably the only difference I said. But then after BVS came out, I wanted to try something new, and the idea I had was, what if Snyderverse, but good?
Yeah.
Like, what if instead of the DC just rushing everything to try just to combat with Marvel and catch up with Marvel, just take your time with it, because there is stuff that they're doing here that works, but you're just executing it badly. Now, I'm not saying what I would have done is better. I'm not even like, there's going to be a lot of shit that's people are familiar with. And the best way I can describe what this is this universe is just a headcanon universe of what I would have liked to see. Like, there was going to be many moments that you've seen from different interpretations, but I feel like if you put them in the same scene or in the same universe, it could have worked.
Can I, on your point in that, I remember you telling me, and I think you said this to me, that the final act of your first Batman movie would have been in the church at the very top with the Joker.
It was. I changed it since. Right. It was. But that's the sort of that. It was going to be.
That's like the sort of idea.
Yeah, it was a Batman and Catwoman versus Batman and Harley Quinn. That was the original conflict at the end. But I'll start off because I'm sure we'll do other videos where I talk about it. My other phases. I'm just gonna quickly go through phase one, best I can. I wonder who should I start with first. Should I start with Batman or Superman? All right, I'll start off with Superman. So Superman, I always tried to not write it. I haven't really. I mean, I've wrote it in my head. I've wrote certain notes. I tried to write it as like kind of a comparison between Donner's and Snyder's, like just that mixed in one. Because I feel like if you find a way to combine both versions together, you can get a pretty unique version of Superman where he's still like a heroic, charming hero, but you could still deal with trauma and you could still have personal issues and be relatable, which I know that was the intention of what Snyder's Superman was. I wanted to show more of a relationship between General Zod and Jor-El. So I would have started that project with the same way Man of Steel started, with the birth of Kal-El, and then start like maybe a day later or so, Jor-El is celebrating the birth of a legitimate birth with his friend that he called brother Zod.
Okay.
And just for shits and giggles, this is going to be featuring like actors that have played characters before and just playing different versions of them. It's very nerdy. It's very like fanboyish. That is the idea, I guess. I'm just doing it because it's fun. If I like legitimately was a director, I wouldn't go this route. I would do something different, obviously. But just for shits and giggles, Christopher Reeve is my Jor-El. Just because I just think it's poetry, like George Lucas said. It's meant to rhyme. I'm gonna post a picture of what Jor-El will look like in this while I talk about it. So Jor-El and Zod, they are aware of what's happening to Krypton, and they are totally aware that the Council doesn't give a shit. But they have two different ways of executing what to do. Like, obviously, Jor-El wants a more peaceful route of exiting the planet, while Zod, Zod's plan, he's like, well, the Council's not going to listen to you, so the best way for us to do is to execute the Council altogether and bring Brainiac with us. Brainiac is part of Krypton, like he was in the animated series. Like, it would be Brainiac that would kind of like be the big judge, jury, and executioner, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever role he had in this, that's what he would be here. And he wouldn't be a screen, though. He wouldn't just be an icon. He has avatars that could go wherever he pleases. And I'll just post a concept art of what Avatar Brainiac looks like.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
That is Benedict Cumberbatch as Brainiac. He is officially Brainiac in my universe.
You even got him with the Doctor Strange beard.
He has the hair, he's got the goatee, he's got some fucked up arms, because it's supposed to be his sleeves are rolled up.
I love it.
So they would have an argument, Jor-El and Zod, but Zod's not really saying what he's going to do. He's like, listen, we're not going to agree with each other, but I'm happy for your brother, and no matter what, I do know that you and I want the exact same thing. We want Kryptonians to be safe. We want Kryptonians to prosper. We'll figure it out.
Who is it you cast as Zod, may I ask?
Okay, I can't remember his name. Honestly, I have to look it up. But have you ever seen the movie The Northman?
No, I mean, I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
First of all, see it. It's fucking amazing. But he's like the more or less villain of that movie. Okay. And I love Michael Shannon. Clash Bane, I think that's his name is. That's what his... Yeah. I love Michael Shannon. I think he's perfect for Zod, but he's perfect for Snyder's, universe. Now, of course, you will see, people who've played characters in this universe, in Snyder's movies and everything, but this is just personal preference. Of course. I just feel like he would be kind of like a tragic Zod, because my Zod isn't just a full-on villain. He is a sympathetic character. He has fucked up morals, but you could tell the only thing he wants to do is protect his people. He doesn't care who he has to kill to get to that.
Yeah.
So that's when you have Jor-El talking to the council, and it goes about as well as you expect. And of course, Brainiac not taking Jor-El's side at all. He's like, oh, the council's right. You need to listen to them, Jor-El, because, you've been kind of foolish lately. You did something that was against Kryptonian law. You and your wife gave birth to an actual child. Why? No one does that anymore. That's how you get people to revolutionize. There's nothing more dangerous than original thought. And that's what would make Jor-El being like, you're making Zod right, man. Don't make Zod right. I don't want Zod to be right. Boom! That's when Zod comes in. And it's kind of the same thing as Man of Steel, where he just executes the fucking, council. He's got his army with him. And Brainiac's like, oh, I like this. Oh. And, Zod's army basically takes over that part of Krypton. And you can even have this line of dialogue where you can have Zod say, Kandor's gone! We can't wait anymore! There's something more! And Brainiac's like, I didn't know. I didn't hear about it. I don't know. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that. Brainiac will be very good hiding his secrets from people. But just like what happened with the animated universe, I'll have Jor-El figure it out pretty quick. But I would have a moment where Zod would be like, oh, Brainiac, we need Brainiac, so you're wrong about Brainiac now. So I'll have my two guys here take Brainiac to where he needs to go so we could brief more with him. Brainiac, you work with us now. Brainiac's like, sure I do. Sure I do. Now, I won't lie, I don't really know the full extent of Brainiac's abilities, so I don't know if he can really do this. But I wanna put in a moment where Brainiac is with two of Zod's guards, and I want to have him try to sense if he can tell where their future's going. Not like a super being, like I can read the future, but like have him like just do math in his head.
Actually use his brain.
Those vehicles, yeah. And he'll just go, you know what? You guys are a sinking ship. And he'll just kill the two Zod's guards, and he just escapes.
All right, yeah, I like that.
And then that's when it reveals that he took care of Kandor, and he'll just leave. And we'll catch up with Brainiac later. Zod will not kill Jor-El in this version. They'll just have a fight, and then he'll be arrested, and then he'll be sent to the Phantom Zone. But now Jor-El is defeated. Like, mentally, he's like, I have no hope. He was my only hope, but he went in a way that it couldn't have happened. I'm not going to put, like, the fucking Codex complicated plot shit. That's just too much of a headache. And I'm going to do the Superman Birthright moment, where they're like, Lara and Jor-El are like, how do we know if he's going to make it? We don't. But this kid is just born. He is a special child. He's not scientifically programmed. He needs to live. It's not fair for him to go. And then you can have him like, well, what about the other babies that were born, and have that conflict. Maybe give a quick reference to Kara. He'd be like, well, it worked. My brother did his with his daughter, and that worked. So we could do this. Hopefully they'll find a way. We put a beeping signal. We put tracking signals, so they'll be able to find each other. She'll keep him safe, and have that moment where we hope you make it, Kal-El. Blah blah blah, and the whole story. Krypton blows up. He lands on Earth, and I wouldn't really show him growing up as Clark at first, because I think Man of Steel had the ready to just jump into right before he's Superman, like they did the Batman Begins thing. So here's a controversial thing. This is where we switch from Jor-El as the main focus. Now Lois Lane's the main focus.
Ooh, okay.
So now it's been several years. It's been about 20-something years. And we're getting news reports of a mysterious being in a red and blue blur saving people around Metropolis and other parts of the world.
So it's already Superman.
He's already Superman in this. There's no origin story. He's just, boom, here he is. He's Superman. Okay. And you have people talking about, I fell off the top of that LexCorp building, and I was saved by a very nice-looking young man, and I'm so happy, and, oh, my cat was stuck in a tree, and he saved me.
It's like,
all the shit.
It's like Superman the Animated Series, where,
It's once again, inspired by the animated series. And like the animated series, Lois thinks it's bullshit. And, everyone's like, no, Mrs. Lane, you gotta believe us. This is the real deal. And she's like, the only hero that I know about is a maniac in a batsuit. That's you want. What do you mean super? She's just being Lois Lane about it, and that's my Lois Lane.
Yeah,
it's Rosario Dawson as Lois Lane.
I remember. Yeah.
I feel like I know people were probably like, that's not really the role for her, and for now, that's just my ideal Lois Lane. I'm sure it'll change later on, because this shit, I change cast all the time. But, yeah. So, that's where Mr. White brings her in. It's like, all right, Lois, you have a big day with Air Force One. You want to talk to, blah, 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 blah. Really quickly, after you come back, I want you to meet this new guy that we brought in. And then that's when Clark Kent shows up, but he's very early.
Ooh, okay.
He's like, show him that he is kind of a bumbling idiot, but I want to make it clear, you don't really know if he's just acting this or he's just clumsy, because he's nervous, because he's young in this. And yes, it's Henry Cavill as Superman. And of course, because genuinely, even though I have opinions of how Henry was treated, I just feel like there's a good Superman with him somewhere. It has to be shown. It's not through this, but I'm just saying this is how you could do it. And, just quickly show that there is some chemistry there. I want to do, and I want Superman Legacy to do what Superman and Lois did, where she's more into Clark than Superman. But still have her figure it out. I like the idea that she's always figured it out herself, before Clark has always said. It's like, oh, well, no shit, you're Superman, you have the worst. How everyone else is clueless about it, I have no idea.
Say, from your concept art of Clark, you have done a way better job at convincing me that, that disguise for Clark you could tell that is like you could somehow believe.
Well, you could tell he's slouching,
and you can like it's believably like you could see a differentiation between Clark and Superman, whereas in Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, they look practically the same.
It's the same.
Whereas
guy.
this,
it's the same. He's buff as shit.
Yeah, with yours is actually really good.
Look at Clark. He's wearing another flannel that barely fits him. It's too tight in his shirt. I wonder if that's no, he can't be Superman.
Another thing with Tyler Hoechlin's Clark and Superman, but not just yeah. Keep going.
So I would introduce Clark, and that's when I would have Lois's first introduction to Superman. And again, it's another reference to the animated series. And again, I feel like the animated series, the animated universe, should be a blueprint. It's a blueprint. Snyder's no blueprint. It's Bruce Timm. He's the blueprint. Right. Remember in the Batman Superman animated special where there's that group of terrorists that break into Air Force One? That's what's gonna happen here.
Yes.
That's how Superman's gonna be introduced to Lois. And Superman's first appearance outfit.
Okay. All right.
I showed you this. That's what it looks like.
Right. Okay.
He and his mom worked on it together. And that S, yes, it's the Kingdom Come S, because in Krypton, you know how you always see it's the S transferring? I hate the idea that the S just looks like an S.
I was literally just about to say, from what I can just see here, you're going with a more like, it is a very much like a Kryptonian type of symbol. Like, it doesn't... It doesn't look like an S at all. It just... I mean, like...
I've always thought that the Kingdom Come emblem would be the perfect emblem to show in Krypton.
Yeah.
Like, that's the perfect Kryptonian S. But, of course, you could just say it's not an S. And that line in Man of Steel, when he says it's not an S, that works with that logo.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I'm going to guess and make this leap of faith, but whenever if Lois does call him Superman in this universe, that's where he...
Oh, yeah, she does.
That's where he will, like, change the logo into more of an S.
So, throughout the movie... at the end of the movie, of course, I'm mostly just going to show just Superman around Metropolis, because I like the idea of hanging out with Superman. There'll be certain moments where it's a montage of him saving the world. Like, there'll be a moment where a kid's playing by a railroad track, a train's coming, and he stops the train. Like that dramatic comic book pose where he's stopping the train. I want moments like that. There will be the "you are stronger than you think you are" moment. And then that's when I want to get into Clark as a character. Jonathan is alive. He does not die yet, so he gets to see his son as Superman. Martha is also, they're all together, and they're all calling him on and cheering him on. And
that gives you a chance to do the actual like Superman Brainiac story, doesn't it?
Yes. Then there will be like another... Because I love seeing moments of Lois interviewing Superman. And then even though they did this in Superman Returns, I love the idea of them interviewing on top of the Daily Planet next to the globe. I just love that moment. And I just want Clark to again establish that he's not here for destiny. He's not here because he has to do it. He doesn't really know why he's here. Still, he doesn't have a fortress yet. Because he's just starting as Superman. All he knows is his family. He doesn't tell Lois this. I'm just saying as an audience, I will establish that they show him that through flashbacks, of course, that here's the rocket that you came into our lives. Because Clark knew that the Kents weren't his original parents, because they always alluded to the idea of you were adopted. But of course, knowing that he's an alien freaks him out. He'll touch the ship, and it will cause like a fingerprint kind of scan. Oh, recognize, blah blah blah. And I would want the language of Krypton to be established more. I want to actually hear Kryptonians speak Kryptonese in this. Yeah. And you see the logo, you see Jor-El and Lara, and you hear that we don't know if he'll make it. We don't know. We can only hope. We can only hope. And that would freak out Clark. and show how he is like showing like the Kent's trying to comfort him, doing the "you are our son" moment. So I don't want any of that Destiny shit. It's just I just want to help people. Helping people makes me feel good, and since I'm capable of doing this, why not look good doing it? Like he's doing like he's making like a joke about it. Now I want to establish that Superman can be lighthearted and fun, and I think Cavill could do that perfectly with better writing, not Justice League rewrites.
It kind of reminds me of we call it, I mean, like, cause I'm pretty sure because I just saw it recently, Lois and Clark, where like Clark generally decides to himself that I want to make a suit to do good, basically,
Yeah, he basically because this suit is not made with the blanket that was with him as a kid. It's just, hey, Mom, I have a funny idea, let's make a suit. And she's like, what gives you that idea? I want to do this flashback scene. He's like, hey, Mom, I want to make a suit. And she'll be like, what gives you that idea?
Do you have a montage where they have I'm holding out for a hero?
There won't be something like that because I don't know if I can ever top that moment. But I will say this might be controversial. What inspires Clark to wear a suit is was a news report he saw about Batman.
That literally reminds me of fucking I think that was actually
American Alien.
Max like
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, because like I'll have Clark like wear outfits like he'll say in he tried to help people in Smallville, but he was not Superboy. He just wore like a hoodie or something.
He was the
and then of course that's when he wants to be like, I want to be like that, but not that intense. Like looking at a security footage they released of Batman, where I think I even oh no I didn't make that. So he'll be like, I want to be like that, but I think we need some color in the world. Like, he wants to be the opposite, the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, I like that.
So then, instead of, I'm saving the you are not alone moment. I'm saving that for another thing that I will talk about in this phase, where, the way they get Lois involved with Zod and everything like that, how it was in Man of Steel, is, someone dressed in a Kryptonian armor just comes out of nowhere and kidnaps Lois. And brings her to Zod's ship. And first they kidnap her and then they put like the space helmet on her so she can breathe in space. I won't do the Superman 4 ignoring laws of physics. And where Superman in this, he's somewhere else in the world stopping a forest fire. Of course, so he's busy. And then that's when after he's finished, you get the ear signal that only he can hear, and it's a mysterious voice saying, hey, we stole your lady. Which of course he flies back to Metropolis. There's no Lois. He's looking around, there's no Lois, and he goes, we have her, but she's not she won't be anywhere you'll look. Just you have to look up. You have to, we're waiting for you, Kal-El. It's the first time he heard somebody else call him Kal-El. So he flies up looking around. That's when he sees it like in like it's cloaked. It's almost like an invisibility kind of vehicle, like a space station, and it's a Kryptonian ship. Doors open. Superman is very confused. He flies in, and that's when he meets General Zod. That's where he meets Fiora. That's where he meets all these other Kryptonians. And it's kind of the same thing from Man of Steel, because I think that whole point of that dream that's messing with his head, I want to see that again. And I want this to be a moment where Zod and Kal-El are almost bonding at first. Because he's finally, Kal-El is meeting somebody that's like him.
Yeah.
And you know nothing of your home. And that is heartbreaking. I want to tell you how beautiful it is. And I came here, and not in a way of violence. I don't want to attack anyone. I didn't harm Lois, I promise you that. We just had no other way to contact you. And Clark's like, that's a bit excessive, but okay. He's like, I want us to rebuild Krypton. It was a beautiful planet. We were so capable of doing so many amazing things, but your father was right. Your father tried to get those idiots to listen, and look what happened. But that's not going to happen again. And he's like, well, how are you supposed to do this? And that's when he says, for us to rebuild, we need to get rid of we have to basically, he's a colonizer. And that's when Superman's like, absolutely not. These people are cool. I like these people. He's like, but they don't. The yellow sun is able to give people like us so many wonderful gifts. It does nothing for them. So it's an insult, more or less. Like, he's trying to come up with an excuse to colonize everybody. And of course, that starts the villain. And of course, well, if you're not going to work with me, then you are just as much as a fool as your father. And you never met him. That's amazing. And that's when he plays a tape. No, wait, no, he wouldn't know that. I was going to say that's when he would play the tape. You know what? Forget that. I thought of something else I could do towards the end of that. So, because I was going to say, he would play a video that's showing how Jor-El was. He was like, this is the man this is your father, this is your mother, and this is what they believed in. And I admire them a lot, but their ways didn't work. Only my ways would have worked, but they were afraid of what I was capable of, and they silenced me. And now look at it. So you know I'm right. And of course, Superman says no, and then that's where the first fight begins. It would kind of happen in Smallville too. There will be like that Clark has to get Lois out of there, and I would kind of have it to where Lois is slowly figuring out who this is. It's like, okay. And it will be in Smallville, but instead of like after the Smallville fight in Man of Steel, where people were like, this man is not our enemy, that moment's not coming yet. So far, everyone is afraid of these superpowered beings in weird suits are fighting and exploding everything. So after the fight's over and Zod retreats and everything, people look at Superman like, they're like, what the fuck are you? What? You're terrifying. You're out. And so Superman feels guilt, and also his suit is totally destroyed, like ripped to shreds. So, which I think I have something here like that. Okay. So it's not okay. So it would have looked worse than that. That's just like halfway through the fight. So Superman just flies to space. He feels, responsible for like, oh my god, they're after me, and now the world is afraid of me. I never wanted that. I was always afraid of that when I was a kid because he had Lara, but then he gained seat vision when they had their first kiss, and that's terrified Lana, and that made him feel so bad. He is afraid of people being afraid of him. That's not a feeling he's comfortable with. That's why he never wants to be known as like a god. But he hears like something calling to him near the north side. Something is trying to get his attention. So he flies there to the North Pole, where he sees a crashed Kryptonian ship. And that would be the fortress. I didn't like the idea that was what the fortress was going to be in the Snyderverse until they just destroyed it and put it in Metropolis. This is staying exactly where it is. And Superman's looking around it. He's seeing like these crystal sculptures come to life, and they're displaying the history of Krypton. And you're seeing all these different Kryptonian outfits that can change with just a single thought that you have. So you can make an outfit look however you want. And then that's when I introduce somebody who I don't know if it would work in a live action, but I would love to see it. Called Chillax. Chillax would come to me and be like, "You look familiar. Hold on. Wait a minute." A cord comes out, plugs Superman in the head, doesn't hurt him, and just surprises him like, "Ow, what the? Ah, yes, you are Kal-El. You are. Wait a minute. Oh shit. You are the first natural birth in centuries. That you're who they're talking about." I
see Gunn doing this, to be honest.
Oh yeah, totally. Maybe we'll get Michael Rosenbaum to do it.
Yes. Fuck. Oh my god.
And he tells him this is the Fortress of Solitude. This is where you'll learn everything about Krypton and about how truly special it is. And this is also where you need to learn that you need to fucking stop Zod, because when he and his army went to the Phantom Zone, which I would describe how they escaped, because after Krypton exploded, the signal to hold on to these certain criminals wasn't working, and it was slowly gonna fade them back to somewhere else. And so they didn't stay in the Phantom Zone for long. When they found out their Earth was destroyed, they were shattered, and now they are angry. They are violent. They have been loose in the galaxy for about 20-something years now. There's a ton of planets that are afraid of them. And you need to stop them. They're not good people. And Superman's like, I can kind of guess that. But the world's afraid of me now. And he's like, well, make them less afraid. There's got to be some people there that believe in you still. And Isaac's like, well, my mom. Well, I don't know. He turns on there's a screen there that he's able to kind of look at Earth and how the Earth's like news reports. And he sees a news report from Lois Lane saying that Superman's a hero. And he's looking at all the other people saying that Superman saved him. Don't be afraid of Superman. We got to stick through him with this. And that's when Chillax is like, you know what? Hey, your suit looks like shit. I'm going to make you a new suit with some real Kryptonian technology. And Superman looks at the suit, and it resembles the New 52 suit.
Oh, okay.
But Superman doesn't like it. And he's like, I don't really, that's not my, how about we make it a little bit more earthy? And change the S, too. Because she said that the House of Hope looks like an S. And she called me Superman. So, let's change it. Thus, that.
Oh, that's hot. That is hot.
That would be his, he would come back to Metropolis, and they're doing, like, the Black Zero stuff, the World Engine thing. They're doing that, and there's a fight, but I want to establish between Zod and Superman, where he goes to the U.S. Army, where he'll meet. This is a little on the nose. Oh, hold on. My headphones thinking it was about to shut off. so I thought it was quiet all of a sudden. So anyway, he'll meet up with the U.S. Army, who has been kind of keeping tabs on Superman, like they're afraid of them. They're even being funded by presidential candidate and fellow CEO of LexCorp, Lex Luthor, who I'll get to in a bit. And the general, who, again, this might be a little on the nose, and I will say maybe Snyder handled this better, but General John Jones was always the one that's like, you know what? Maybe the Earth is doomed. And you could tell there's something that he's not. I will make him a prominent character in this movie, but you could tell, like, he's thinking something, and then that's when he sees that Superman's coming out of hiding, and he wants to work with the U.S. Army to save people from the Kryptonian. That's when you, like, General Jones is like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
okay. Anyway, yes, who are you? And he says he does the whole plot of, like, oh, this ship is what they brought me to, and this can connect it to the blah, blah, blah. We can get rid of them and everything. Because I just turned on another Kryptonian ship, and I could get the Phantom Zone to work again. So once that works, we that's the only way we can get rid of them, and I will help you. So that's when the army's like, all right, let's do this. And then the fight will ensue, and Lois wouldn't be in the ship. She would just be. I wanted to do a scene where she's reporting on what's happening. And I want to establish that even though Superman and Zod are fighting, I want him to stop the fight once in a while so he can save people that are in need. And, of course, I would have one of Zod's ships destroyed. I'll just say he had a spare. He didn't steal the other one. I'll just say he had a spare. He stole, the Kryptonians are defeated, all except for Zod. All of them go into the Phantom Zone. Superman defeated them. And everyone's like, oh my God, Superman just saved us! And since Lois is reporting, she's showing off to everybody that, hey, the world's saved. Oh my God, Superman is a good guy after all. And of course, that's when Zod, everyone find out, oh shit, Zod's still alive. And he does the whole fucking, like, I only exist to protect my people, and now I have no people. And Superman's like, this is not the way we do things. And he goes, well, if you taking everything from me, I'm taking everything from you. And that's when they have another serious fight, but again, Superman will try to avoid anybody else getting hurt from it. They fly through a building, Superman gets knocked out, Zod is testing out the heat vision because he never really got it right when he first saw Superman do it, and he tried to do it, it didn't work well. And that's the same thing where, you know, he heat visions that entire building. But instead of them just flying off, Superman tries to catch it. He's inside. He's trying to just to hold on. And Zod is just standing still like, you can't hold on to it forever. And Superman can hear there's still people in this building. In this Wayne Enterprises building. And he can't hold on to it anymore. And it collapses. Or at least the top half collapses. And I want to do a shot while it's collapsing, Zod is just floating there like this while everything's falling on him, and he's not moving an inch. Superman fell with the building, but I just want Zod just to look being like, it's paper. These people are made out of paper. And you have a moment, like, remember that Kingdom Come shot where Superman's like on his knees, like, ah! Like that. I want to have that moment and have Superman, like, have a bunch of ash fall off his hands. And just him getting mad, and Zod's coming by, and he's mocking Superman, and I'll have this art here of Zod.
All right.
He'll come by, and he's like, "Oh, you are so pathetic." Superman just sucker punches him, and they take him to space, and they're crashing through the moon. They're crashing through asteroids. Look at a beautiful Bruce Wayne satellite, bam, destroyed. I want to see Superman fight in space, damn it. And where does Superman take him? To the fucking crashed Kryptonian ship that's now his Fortress of Solitude. Crashes through it, and Zod's like, "Oh, you're stupid. You're stupid. I was a general. This is my ship. This is just a ship that just crashed, and we just never saw it again. But I could control this ship. Chillax, I've worked with several one of those things." And Chillax would be like, "Oh shit. Oh shit." And he's like, "Okay, so you love these people so much, fight like one." And he says in his Kryptonian language, "Red light." And a red light hits the fortress. And Superman's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this? We'll be here for a few thousand years, then we'll get a heat rash." Superman Red Sun reference. And Zod beats the shit out of him. And it's like, this is the first time he's feeling actual, like, physical pain. Because sure, they fought, and it hurt, but he's bleeding. This is the first time Superman is bleeding. And Zod's like, "I've bled before. I know how to fight. Where did you learn how to fight? A farm?" Kicking the shit out of him. And Superman is just thinking about the people he loves. And he'll try to fight back, and Superman's doing the best he could to fight back. I'll have him do the Henry Cavill thing.
Oh yes.
And I even have like a little battle damage Superman here. I want the fight to look like the fucking fight that Spider-Man has with the Green Goblin.
That raw.
Just brutal fucking raw fights of just two men that hate each other, or at least one man that hates one person and the other one that's just trying to do the right thing. But instead, like, Zod knocks down Superman. Zod gets on top of him. He grabs a crystal. He's about to stab him. And Superman's trying to hold back. There's a ledge next to him. And he's like, I will make people scream my name. I will make them kneel before Zod. And he's just screaming, and then Superman just has no other choice. He just grabs on to Zod and just uses his power just to lift him up overhead and make Zod just hold on to the ledge without falling. And Zod just looks and goes, "Fuck you." No, he doesn't say fuck you, but just says, "Fuck this shit. You are the worst Kryptonian ever. You killed your own people. You killed your people. You are an embarrassment." And he falls and impales himself through these crystal shards over a ledge and dies. Which, of course, Superman is like, "Oh my god." And Chillax comes in because he doesn't know how to break. He tries to break the ice and fails and goes, "Hey, look, now that Zod's dead and he was a general, you're back to having control of this ship. Because as of right now, you are the only Kryptonian. You are the last son of Krypton." And that depresses Superman. He says, "Turn off the yellow lights." He gets his powers back. He heals. He sees Zod. Zod's still dead. He picks up Zod. He takes him outside. Takes him closer to the sun because he doesn't want to kill. He's hoping that this would bring back Zod. Nothing. Zod's dead. And that's just that. now he's it. He's the last Kryptonian. But now he knows the only thing I can do right now is just to fix everything, gain the world's trust. I can set things right, and I hope that it goes well. I don't know how. I hope people like me. And of course, Lois would be the biggest supporter of Superman. So that would be part 1 of Superman's story. And that would, of course, be called The Last Son of Krypton. Now, the second part. Now, I know. Let's see how long. Okay, yeah. We could still go. The second part of this phase is just called The Batman Returns. Now, this would be obviously about Batman, who's been Batman for about, let's say, 15 or 17 years. Now, previously, I've had John Hamm as Batman. Now, I know he's like 52 right now, and I now see him more as like a Superman, like an older Superman character. So if they ever do anything like with that with him, I would love to see that. Like I see him perfectly as Alex Ross's Kingdom Comes Superman. Or if Zack Snyder ever does a Dark Knight Returns, anything, John Hamm would be the perfect Superman for that. So now I have Jensen Ackles officially as my Batman, which he voices him in those group of anime movies, and he's just totally beautiful in that. And as you can see in that suit, big inspiration, the animated series.
I love it.
Got the blue on the side, got the white eyes, got the yellow logo on all
really
gray and
happy
beautiful.
That you're growing an appreciation for the blue and the gray, because I remember a time where you were just all black.
Yeah, I was all black or very, very dark gray.
No, I really like this. This is awesome.
I like colors in batsuits now. Obviously Jason Todd's dead. Dick Grayson retired, being Robin. He's not
How long
Nightwing.
did you say this Batman was in?
15 or 17
Right.
years.
Okay, so he's definitely a lot older than Superman.
He's a lot older than Superman, and not as much as like Batfleck was older. Let's say like Superman would be like 27, Bruce Wayne would be like 37.
Right. Okay. 10 years. That's
So he's not.
Yeah,
that
10 years.
old.
That's fine.
Yeah, but it's still enough time to establish that this is a Batman with history.
Oh yeah. It's definitely not as condensed as like fucking New 52.
Oh my god. Yeah, so he's only had 2 Robins. Dick Grayson, who retired and quit and moved to Bloodhaven to be a detective, and Jason Todd is dead. There is a Barbara Gordon. She was Batgirl for a short bit until something involved in the Joker paralyzed her. And it's not exactly Killing Joke, but it's I would establish that she is Oracle and she's just in a wheelchair now. And the movie would mostly just be about Bruce handling trauma.
Okay.
And Bruce not allowing anyone else in his life. There will be multiple different people that will be representing Bruce's persona. There will be Alfred, who is representing, like, I want you to be happy. I want you to be away from this life. I need you to be away from Gotham. I'm worried about you. You have Commissioner Gordon, who wants the Batman, but not this brutal Dark Knight that's in the streets now. Like, I know you lost somebody. Oh, in this universe, Commissioner Gordon knows Bruce Wayne.
Oh, really?
He knows. And I would have, because I think it would be interesting if Gotham City has a commissioner that not only works with this mysterious Batman, who people are still debating on being an urban myth or not, but this is the commissioner that's holding one of the biggest secrets in Gotham City history.
I'm still listening.
He knows the identity. Okay. That he knows the identity of Batman. And he's known for a while. He's like, look, I know you lost someone, Bruce. I lost someone too. And I get that pain, but Gotham still needs the Batman. It doesn't need this. This revenge, you told me many times, revenge is a fool's game. And Batman he wants to listen, but we don't know. Then another side to represent Batman's more wild and crazy, more, not violent, but just more angry side is Selena Kyle's Catwoman, who I will post what she will look like here. She loves this new side of Batman, this wild boy, kind of more dangerous, more aggressive type of Batman. And yes, that's the girl from Deadpool.
That's fucking Jim Gordon's wife in Gotham. And real.
I always thought she looked like Selena Kyle.
No. That's honestly, yeah, I think that.
Yeah, so she likes this new Bruce side, so she's not really helping the case at all to get Bruce to stop being aggressive. Now the Joker. Maybe I would say Bruce, because we talked about this before. Bruce, I don't think would have retired, but Bruce would have gone away from Gotham for a bit to like meditate and maybe train again a different way. He wants to train his mind mentally to not involve people he cares about in his life, because he doesn't want another Jason Todd to happen again. And Jason Todd was a good Robin. He wasn't like this angry, rebellious, violent Robin that just murdered thugs in Batman's disapproval. He was a good Robin, but he went through a horrendous thing that happened that got him killed, and it involved the Joker. And the Joker thought that this was going to be the thing to break Batman. He's like, what else can I do? What else? I killed his son. What else could I possibly do? Now, do you know who Panda Red is on YouTube or TikTok?
Panda Red? No.
So he's a comic book influencer on social media, and this is his canon. And I want to say that something like this is similar to he had an idea that he wanted to put the poll that they did to like ask people if they wanted Jason to be dead or alive. He wanted to put that in canon.
Okay.
So an idea he had was the Joker and like live streams, not on Twitch, but like one of those like janky fucking live stream websites. Like you need to get the dark web to
like
see.
The Riddler, the Batman.
Kinda, yes, exactly. He gets that, except not as cringy. He's like, hey guys, thanks for the comments. The Joker, again, in this version is obviously played by Willem Dafoe.
I was literally
because
I was like literally waiting for you to say Jared Leto, and I was like,
oh god, nah, Jared Leto's. We'll just put him on the side right here. He'll laugh. He'll be there. But yeah, it'll be Willem Dafoe's Joker. And he's live streaming. What happened with the Jason was he live streamed his death, and he had a poll of, what do you want me to do? You want me to electrocute him? I'll electrocute him. Ah! What's this? Another crowbar hit? Hey, 15 bits for crowbar. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Bang, bang, bang. And it's not in Gotham City. So that's why Batman's going across Gotham looking around. And the trick is, that's the fucked up thing. He's there, nowhere to be found. He's not in Gotham. He's somewhere else in the country. Maybe a little bit close by so Batman could still try to get to him. But then he goes, all right, now here's the big one. Now this is the Panda Red idea. And it's such a brilliant idea, and I give him credit for this. He goes, okay, now, here's what I want us to do. Should I kill him or should I free him? You decide. The audience says, let him live. They're saying, let him live, let him live. And he's like, that's boring. I'll tell you what. I'll pay everybody a lot of money if they say you want me to kill him. Kill him! Kill the fucking bird! Kill the fucking bird! And then that's when the stream shuts off. Suckers! Stream shuts off. Batman sees and he's like, fuck! Where is it? Alfred, find him! Lucius, find him! Fucking find him! And then they find a location. It's near Bloodhaven. They go there. Batman's running. Place explodes. Jason Todd is dead.
Oh my god, that gave me goosebumps, dude.
And he just, like what Jared Leto's Joker did, he spray painted the ha jokes on you, Batman. And Jason's dead. It's that iconic image of him carrying. I would have a shot of him carrying out of that burning warehouse with a Robin corpse. And what broke Joker was that he thought that this would have been it, that break his rule. Like, what else could I possibly do? I killed his son. This has to be it. So you would have a moment where Batman looked, a little bit friendlier back then. Batman wasn't really, this really fucked up looking dude with, a darker suit. He wore gray and blue for a majority of his early career. But Oh, here we go. I was looking for his image. There it is. He would wear that a majority of his career. But this was just what drove him to this dark place where he stopped himself from killing Joker. He was just banging the fuck out of his face, and he just disappeared. He just got up, walked away, didn't even say anything, didn't finish the job, and it drove Joker nuts. And Batman disappeared from a gut. So I guess you could say he vaguely retired, but it's not really retiring. He's going away to make sure, how can I figure out this never happens again? How can I just totally devoid myself from trusting someone ever again? I don't need anyone else than Alfred. I literally don't need anyone else. But this worries Alfred. He's like, you need help. If you work with this alone, I'm not going to be there forever. If you do this forever, this way, you're going to die. And Batman's idea is like, well, I was probably going to die doing this anyway, so who cares? And yes, it's Ian McKellen as a gay Alfred.
Okay, all right.
I won't, obviously, he'll just say, it'll just kind of lean to the idea that he had a partner in his early days. Yeah. And he never really could finish that fantasy of living together with his boyfriend because Thomas Wayne always made him work, always made him stay. And when Alfred was ready to leave Thomas Wayne, that's when they were murdered. And he didn't want to leave Bruce alone. Because he would sometimes say to Bruce, you know what? You were the only Wayne that was ever nice to me.
Really?
Yeah. I would have them, they're kind of dicks. Thomas Wayne would be played by John Hamm in this one. Yeah. And it's very Don Draper, Mad Men kind of Thomas Wayne. And, Martha's there too. And so Bruce Alfred doesn't want to, he's like, I buried enough members of the Wayne family. I don't want to bury their son. You're worrying me to death. And the whole conflict of the movie is, will Batman finish the job he started with the Joker? Since Joker was waiting for Batman to come back, he was almost kind of dumb. Because how it was in Gotham, and I guess a little bit in Dark Knight Returns, without Batman, crime has no punchline. Joker's just kind of,
So also like Joker and we call it the finale of Gotham, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, everything's sad. All right, Arkham guards, everybody huddle up. We have a new patient joining us today. She's mentally fucked up in the head. She killed her boyfriend. She's obsessed with somebody here. We want to make sure they don't run in. So please bring in Harleen Quinzel. Harleen Quinzel is not a therapist in this. She is a patient. But she's got the personality of a therapist. So when she's there, she's trying to just see what's in criminals' heads. She'll interview the Riddler. And the Riddler would just be like, oh, I just wanted to impress my dad. I have daddy issues. All right, what do you want me to say? I have fucking dad issues. Clayface. I just wanted to be an actor. Mr. Freeze doesn't say anything. Mr. Freeze is very quiet. But the Joker is the one she was obsessed with since she was a little girl. She always was fascinated with the Joker. So she interviews the Joker. And the Joker's like, And Harley's like, how can I get to him? And the guards are like, leave him alone, you fucking maniac. Who wants to speak to that freak? Look at him, he's drooling on himself. News report. Another sighting of Batman. And he's more brutal. He's branding criminals now. He's not killing them, but he's leaving them fucked up. This leaves, what? Oh, Batman's back! Oh, Batman's back! Oh, I'm so happy! Harley doesn't notice he's acting this way because Batman's back. She thinks that she sparked something in him. So now she's like, I'm getting to him. And Harley and Joker are talking. And Joker's thinking, I could use this girl to help me get out of here. And of course, that would be my interpretation of mad love. She is the one who's mostly in love. But the Joker's like, you're not really my type. My type wears a big black cape and pointy ears. Of course, I would have this moment where there would be kind of like the Batman-style chase scene between Batman and the Joker. But this time, turn on a light and see what's actually happening, because that chase scene in the Batman was so dark, I couldn't really tell what was happening. So I would also bring it more theatrical because I want to bring the more theatrical elements in it because this is not a realistic take on Batman. This is very animated, Burton, and even Schumacher kind of style Batman, where he would have gadgets that don't make any sense, but they're fucking cool anyway. I would have the moment where after the chase scene would end, you would think Batman's about to beat him up, but Gordon stops him and he's trying to calm down. He's like, no, I'm fine, I'm not gonna do it. Joker calls him a pussy, and it would have moments where Selina is trying to talk to Batman, saying, "Let out your inner demon," because she's just, she's also fucked up. She likes to see, dark men be dark, and
the opposite of Hush, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. But I would also kind of establish that she is just trying to figure herself out as well. Like, she doesn't know if she wants to be in Gotham. She's like, let's just end this whole Batman and Catwoman shit on a big bang, and then we go away. We escape the city. And, of course, Batman doesn't want to do that. He goes, but there's nothing left for you. You gave everything to the city. And he's like, I could think of maybe one more thing I could give. Then, of course, that's when we'll lead to the climax of the movie, which would be a giant, Arkham breakout. Harleen did it again. Oops, she did it again. This time she broke out a majority of criminals. However, what drives her crazy is that some of these criminals have respect for Batman for so long. Clayface is like, I ain't going anywhere. I'm staying right here. Mr. Freeze? No, I'm not. I'm staying right here. Riddler maybe had maybe I'll have a little bit of fun. But the second he'll see Batman, nope, I'll be right here. Be right here, just doing my riddles. Riddle me this, Batman. There will be the climax fight. Harleen will make her own Harley outfit. And, there will be a climax fight between Batman and Catwoman versus Joker and Harley. It'll be Catwoman and Harley. They're fighting. And, I would have a moment. Do you remember Batman Vengeance, that PS2 game? Remember that scene where, Batman and Joker are holding onto a bridge? And Joker uses a buzzer to shock Batman's hand, and he falls off the bridge. That was what would happen here. It would kind of allude to the idea, will Batman drop him? Is Batman going to finally do it? Is he going to break that code? No, he doesn't. He goes, give me your other hand. You're slipping, Joker. And Joker's like, again? Really? You're really doing this shit? If someone can't do something right, you got to do it yourself. Bzz, fights. And it falls, and you don't know if Joker survives. So it's kind of
this
phase.
It's kind of like, in a way, it's basically sort of the same way how you had Zod killed off, isn't it? Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Except a little bit of spoiler. Obviously, Joker's not dead. Yeah. You just don't know. And of course, Harley's freaking out, and everything's calming down now. And at the end of the flick, Bruce will go back to Wayne Manor. And he sees Alfred packing his bags. And he goes, I can't do this. I'm trying to get you out of this life. And there's no help. And if you can't accept that you need help, then I can't help you no more. It's like what happened in Telltale Season 2. Yeah. And Bruce is like, I need you, Alfred. And he goes, and I need you too. I know you need me. And you were like a son to me. But I can't bury another Wayne. So I'm leaving, unless you are willing to change. That signal comes down in the sky again, and Alfred just leaves. And then that would lead into something, but before I talk about that, I'll just briefly mention Wonder Woman's role. Wonder Woman, she's a big, prominent character in this, and of course she's played by the wonderful Jamie Alexander, because, man, how did we not get that? That would have been one. I love Gal Gadot in the role, I really do, but just that is just Wonder Woman to me.
I agree.
The best way I could probably describe, I think just everything about the original Wonder Woman movie works. Maybe I would set it towards World War II, because I would like to do a sequence where, she's with Steve Trevor and, the lovey-dovey and stuff, and Steve Trevor dies in this movie. And then in the end of that flick, I want there to be a moment where it's set in present day and Wonder Woman, Diana, is thinking about her time fighting. I would have the main villain I would trying to say if I don't know if I want it to be Ares or I want it to be
Cheetah?
no, not Cheetah. Not Ares. Who's the other? Who was the villain in Hercules?
No, I thought you were mentioning. Yeah, that's
Hades.
That's what.
Hades. Yeah. Hades would be the first villain, and I want Felix Faust to be involved.
Yes.
Not Dr. Poison. I want Felix Faust to be a prominent character in a series of Wonder Woman movies. I feel like Felix Faust is such a great character, and he needs to be used more.
Episode.
Yes, that would all lead to an event like that episode. Not in this first Wonder Woman movie, but eventually it will lead to a moment like that. The next movie will be Green Lantern, and the main focus of the Green Lantern will be John Stewart. I will have him be working with the U.S. Army to create like a space kind of station. Like, oh, hey, if Superman exists, then there's got to be these other aliens out there, so we need to monitor our own planet. Which, of course, Lex Luthor is funding this shit, and so is Bruce Wayne. He's funding this, and since John Stewart was a soldier already, he's one of the first subjects they had to be part of this Space Marine Corps. And this would be slightly based on Green Lantern Year 1. When the villain... I'm sorry, Earth 1. Green Lantern Earth 1. The villains will be the Manhunters. And the ring would hold on to John Stewart. It would take him to Oa, where Oa is totally devastated and fucked up and destroyed. And run by these Manhunters. And John Stewart's like, how the fuck did I get here? How the fuck did I get here? Which, of course, he meets up with a few surviving Lanterns. One of them being Kilowog. One of them being Sinestro. One of them being Tomar-Ray. And just a few other regular name ones. And one human Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan came here first. And everything went great until a fellow Guardian came up with the Manhunters. And you can pretty much tell how that went. It went really bad. So the movie would be about how, John Stewart kind of accepting that this is probably where his main purpose is. And Hal Jordan being very hesitant going back to Earth. Because he's always said, I hate Earth. There's nothing for me there. I just had a bad childhood. I had a bad life. I lost a lot. When the second I became a Lantern and I was sent here, this is where I feel like my purpose is. So if there's any human lantern that should return to Earth and protect its people, it's you. I don't think Earth will be ready for me to come back. Like, he's very self-deprecating. And there'll be a beautiful moment where I will want John to be like, talk him out of it. Being like, no, come on, man. There's gotta be somebody there that you miss. Well, there's this one Ferris girl that I like, but I'm sure she's seeing somebody right now. Well, maybe. I don't know. Let's figure out a way to get out of here first. And we'll stop the Manhunters, and then we'll find a way back. And of course, that's when they would defeat the Manhunters, and Oa will be back in service, and everything will be great. Now, we'll lead into Batman versus Superman. This would be like a big introduction to Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor, more or less, the big inspiration of Lex Luthor in this universe. He more or less is DC's version of Donald Trump.
Right.
He is running for president. He is a very controversial figure. He is saying controversial things just for the hell of it. Like there will be a moment where he says, "I, Lex Luthor, am running for president of the United States, and I want to talk about this Vigilante Registration Act." Taking a page of Marvel for a little bit. What if DC did a superhero registration act? How would that work? How would that, Because I'm sure they've done it before, but I think the Superhero Registration Act would be a perfect thing to do for DC. And then he goes, anybody who's a superhero that's not working for the United States government, I'm declaring them an outlaw, and this bill will support that. And people are very mixed on it. People are like, no, what the hell? Superman's great. No, what are you talking about? Superman is this powerful alien from another planet who could destroy us in the blink of an eye. This is bullshit. We need something like this. Superman should be working with the United States government. And Lex Luthor will be like, I will make sure that Superman will answer for everything. Look what he did to this train. And I will reference a moment from the first Superman movie where I told you he saves a boy from getting hit by a train. He goes, look at this. Yeah, sure, he saved a boy. But look at all the damage he did. The conductor has a broken neck now. There's many concussions that these other people have. why not just sweep the boy out? And Clark is watching this going, shit, I wish I just would have swept the boy out. And Batman's a fucking maniac now. He is branding criminals, and they're getting the shit kicked out of them in prison. Does Batman care? Does Batman even know? He probably does. And, of course, that would lead into why Bruce hates Superman, because, you know, the building, the Wayne Enterprises building that was in Metropolis, that was destroyed. He blames Superman for that. Superman hates, or doesn't hate, but he feels like that Batman is a little misguided. It's like, you're violent. You can't. Why are you so violent? This is not how we should be doing things. And I would have it to where instead of, you know, them taking a ferry to, or just having a nice little stroll to Metropolis and Gotham are two very separate states away from each other. But I would have it to where I want there to be a sequence where Clark has to go to Gotham to do a test, to do a report about it. And instead of him flying there, I want him to just take a plane. I want Clark just to act like a human, just so he can feel like he's human and he wants to escape from this, you know, life of having to always fly once in a while. He wants to feel like everybody else. And of course, whatever he's doing a report about doesn't matter when he's finding out everything about Batman. And you know, he wants to write about Batman. Of course, Perry's like, no, I don't want you to write about Batman. I want you to write about this. So it's almost kind of similar to everything that's good about BVS is in here, just amplified a little bit more. Like Lex Luthor is not Jesse Eisenberg. Lex Luthor is Billy Zane. Because how was he never Lex Luthor to begin with? I don't know. But there's a brilliant Lex Luthor right there for you.
Lex Luthor.
And he's just the perfect guy that's like, yes, I'm going to sign the Superhero Registration Act and nobody can stop me. What are your questions? Oh, that's Lois Lane, you are fake news. That is a ridiculous question. Everybody listen to me. You know, just this cocky attitude Lex Luthor is what we need. He's not a villain in this year. He's not a villain. He's a dick. And he could do some fucked up things. But I want to establish that he's not really a villain. Because I like a Lex Luthor that could possibly have a redeeming arc. And he will convince Superman to work for the United States government, which will kind of give a Dark Knight Returns vibe. Where Superman is going to help these U.S. soldiers go through this big conflict that's going on in the world at a time with, now the name of this country's blanking on me. What's the name of the country where Bane's from? Corto Maltese? I will have that there's a conflict going on in Corto Maltese where there's people, you know, in effect, like, kind of similar to what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. It's kind of similar with Corto Maltese. And I would have, we're like, we're there, we're trying to help people. Superman, you need to be there as well. And Superman, you need to do exactly what we say, because if you go off book, you're going to freak people out. And of course, Batman doesn't trust Superman now because, he's just a government pawn. That's what this is. This guy, this is all full of shit. I can see this through. And I would have moments where Batman's trying to figure out what this white Portuguese is, the white Portuguese plot, that will be involved here. And it's kryptonite. And I would have a moment from the animated series where he's in a nightclub, breaks into a Metropolis nightclub, fights, Metropolis, thugs, saying, like, what's the white Portuguese? Who are you working with? That's when Superman will come in, and there'll be that moment. And he would say, hey, listen, Batman, I've supported everything you've done. I've always looked up to you when I was younger. But you know what? I don't want your violence in my city. I don't want your crazy in my city. Just consider this mercy. And Batman, of course, does a do you bleed moment. And he'll just, instead of saying you will after he flies away, I wish what they would have done is saying, do you bleed, you will, right to Superman's face. Yeah. And I want to establish that there's something really wrong with Batman. There's something very wrong. Alfred's no longer there. There is no Alfred. There's no one to answer the door. The only friend he really has is Barbara, but even Barbara's a little bit scared of how Bruce is now. The only other friend he has right now is Lucius Fox, who, at the moment, the actor who I want to play him is in the hospital right now, and I hope he recovers. But I think Jamie Foxx would be a perfect version of this Lucius Fox. He's a little bit younger, and he's that good, kind soul that can kind of lift Bruce's spirits up a little bit. But I want to establish that Bruce has a heart issue. Even though he's young still, he's got a heart issue. He's not taking proper care of himself. He's not taking the proper rest he needs. There's no one there to tell him when he's being, I want to establish that he really needed Alfred in his life. And Bruce, even though Lex Luthor is in the movie, Bruce is almost the villain in this because his obsession with Batman is unhealthy. I mean, his obsession with Superman is unhealthy. And would have a moment to where President Luthor would be like, listen, I need to talk to you about Batman. I know you've been seeing him. I know you probably know who he is. You don't have to tell me right now, but I'm president now, and you need to work with me, and we need to work this out. I need you to apprehend Batman in any way you can. Apprehend him, bring him to Amanda Waller, who wants to talk to him. He's a super criminal now, and he needs to be brought to justice. And Superman reluctantly agrees because he knows that if he doesn't help, then his identity is going to be revealed. I was trying to think, should I have Superman keep that he's a Kryptonian as secret? But I'm thinking, well, if the Kryptonians are already around, I think they would already know. But because I know that's what I did on Superman versus the Klan.
Yeah.
Or what, he hid that he was an alien? Yeah. So of course that's when the fight breaks through, and I would have the fight be more defined than how it was in, what happened in the movie. And Batman will win the fight, Superman's defeated, and he's not going to kill Superman. He'll think about it, but he'll just be like, I'm going to take you to Cadmus, where they're going to lock you up, where they're going to make sure, like, he's just talking nonsense. And all Superman is hearing is boom, 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 boom. His heart's going nuts. Like, Batman's heart's going nuts. And Superman's still showing concern, like, no, wait, Bruce, your heart, you were fucked up, my friend. And that's when he does the line, but before I take you to Cadmus, I want you to look at me. Look at me deep in the eye. I want you to look at the one human, the one man who beat you. And then he has a heart attack. And Clark is like, oh God, no one else is going to die because of me. No more. So he takes him just to see if there's anywhere his hideout would be. He finds the Batcave. He takes it to the Batcave. And Superman is trying to help him. And he's like, what am I going to do? 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 And you know that moment in New 52 where he breaks into a library and he's scrolling through medical books? That moment will happen where he'll figure out what to do. And he's like, I know what to do, but I can't do this. I only know how to make sure he doesn't die right now. And then you'll have a moment where Bruce's vision just completely fades. Cut to black. Bruce wakes up in the Batcave, but in a hospital kind of bed. And he's all like, oh God, what happened? Where am I? What? My heart, it's not, but ow! Oh! Like he's feeling the pain from fight with Superman. And that's when he sees Alfred is back. Alfred is wiping blood off his hands. He's taking off his glasses. He goes, hello, Master Bruce, it's been a while. And he's like, where did you come from? And that's when Clark comes out of hiding. And he's like, what the fuck is he doing here? And he's like, no, Master Bruce. He got me to help you. Yeah. He found me. And he knows that I know how to do proper surgery better than he can. Because he could have done it, but he was terrified that his super speed would have fucked something up. But you need to hear him out. As Superman gives his side of the story, and he's saying, but look, you're right. I was wrong in how I handled Metropolis. I did everything, but I need you to know I did everything I could to help those people. I tried to stop that building from falling, and it was Zod that did that to me. I never want anyone to get killed. I'm not this God character, but I get why people are afraid of me, and I get why you were like this. But let me tell you, you have people that care about you. And there's a sweet little moment where they're both kind of talking each other out while also solving their own issues. And I do want to mention out, before Bruce passes out, when he first has a heart attack, with his fight with Batman, his last words was, Martha, and falls. And Clark heard that and went, wait, what? And then he'll go, by the way, before I leave, I just want to ask, why did you when you passed out, you said Martha. Was that? And he goes, yeah, that was my mom's name. And Clark goes, my mom's name's Martha. Huh. Then he leaves. And before he leaves, Alfred walks by him and goes, thank you for saving my son's life. And he goes, I couldn't have done it without you. But I have some things I got to take care of. And he leaves. He goes to Lois. And I'll have a moment where Lois and Clark are kind of teasing their relationship. Where yeah, they like each other, but clearly there's a lot more than that. And I would have the one where Clark goes to Lois and goes, I have 2 things I need to tell you. So one, I love you. I've always loved you. And I feel like I want to live with you. I want you. He's not proposing to her, but he's just confessing. And she's like, I love you too, and he goes, now here's the other thing I want to tell you. I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, what do you mean? And he goes, Superman. I think I made a mistake. And that'll be the end of Batman vs. Superman. It's a very, dour note, which then will lead to a Flash movie, which it would be kind of like Season 1 Flash, but a lot abridged, a lot more abridged, a lot calmed down. I want to put Jay Garrick as a teacher of his, as he was a veteran Flash. I want this to be, kind of a generation thing. Oh, yeah, Jay Garrick, he was the Flash in, the 70s and early 90s, and now he's old and he's an old piece of shit now, and now Barry, you are, Eobard Thawne's the villain. So then it will lead to the final part of Phase 1, which is Justice League, or I would call it The Justice League, because I like putting the in front of titles. Now, who could the main villain of first part of Justice League do you think?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's not Darkseid. I've got one. I could say one, but solely because this is actually one that I had for my Justice League film.
Mm-hmm.
I could be completely wrong, but is it Brainiac?
Yes. Brainiac in his new form. Look at that, baby. New form, bald ass head.
Yeah, just like
purple, little bit of blue.
Like me, for my Justice League movie, I had Brainiac as the villain as well.
And so what happens is kind of similar to what happens in the Superman Lives project, where Brainiac is going through different planets, just taking what he pleases, and then him finding out about Earth, and he goes, "Oh, this planet is cool. Wait a minute." Wait a second. Oh, hold on. Is that who I think it is? The son of Jor-El and planet Earth. Oh, I'm going to have some fun with this shit. And Earth will experience some random alien/robotic creatures attacking different people, just trying to find out certain information. A group of them are in Gotham. And Batman is back. But now Batman is an outlaw signed by the President of the United States, Lex Luthor, for attacking Superman who worked with the United States government. So that information was leaked, and it was found out, so now Batman is an outlaw. So Batman is really trying to stay quiet. Just really trying to hide. He even changes his suit now. He's not, wearing that bright yellow thing. It's a little bit darker now. He first finds out about Brainiac's goons, Brainiac's avatars. And they're like, what? He's like, what the fuck is this? But this time he's trying to handle things differently. Alfred's back in his life. But, Alfred is back, kinda, but he's not fully committed yet. He's just like, I need to think, but I'm glad you are handling the things better now. And the film will progress into Alfred going back into being with Bruce and them getting help from other people. He doesn't want another sidekick, but he is open to working with other people now. So then it would lead to, Batman catching up with Brainiac and going, what is this about? I got to investigate this. Wonder Woman, hiding in plain sight. Maybe she could be part of Congress and no one knows. But people always were learning about this mysterious Wonder Woman in the past. Like, was this real? Was this not? It sounds ridiculous. So, a wondrous woman that's in gladiator outfit fighting in World War I? Nah. World War II? Nah, it can't be. So she's, no one really knows she was legit yet. But I will have an established kind of friendship/relationship between Bruce and Diana. Because I forgot to mention that she will be in this version of BVS, but she's not Wonder Woman in that movie. She's just there, and she knows about Bruce. And I will establish that there might be a little relationship between Bruce and Diana. Because I will have Selena and Bruce break up in the first month. Like, you made me violent. I don't like you anymore. So Clark, he and Lois are together, and they're on vacation. So instead of going somewhere fun and tropical and exciting, he takes her to meet his mom, which is like, you know what? I don't like Kansas, but your mom and dad are wonderful. So she meets up with Bruce's parents, with Clark's parents, and I will have the Flash. He's also there, but he's also hiding because there's a superhero registration act, and if you're caught, your career's done. But of course, he's just trying to prove his father's innocence still after what happened. Green Lantern, John Stewart, he gets a call from the Guardian saying, hey, there's some fucked up shit happening on Earth, and I think you and Hal should probably go and check that out. Hal's like, no, I'll stay here. John would be the better, because I haven't been to Earth in years. John just left, so he's more like inept. And John's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, you go. So John goes to Earth to see what's up with this Brainiac stuff, and he'll meet up with Batman, and there'll be a moment similar to the Jeff Johns comic book, where they both meet, and then the police get them, and they're trying to escape. Then I would have a moment where Lantern and Batman are teaming up to try to find out what's going on with this Brainiac shit, and then they themselves get attacked by more Brainiac goons, these creepy-looking animatronic creatures. And one thing I forgot to mention about this version of Batman, every single movie which will have Batman in this universe, I'm going to have him say, oh shit, once. Once in every movie. Like that Batfleck scene where he's like, oh shit. That's going to happen once every movie, because I think that's just funny, and I love hearing Batman swear. And Jensen Ackles Batman swearing? Absolutely, it's possible. Son of a bitch, Robin! Anyway, so Wonder Woman will come out of hiding, save Green Lantern, save Batman. And that's when the Flash comes in, because I will have it to where Jon Stewart and Barry Allen actually were friends. But they both didn't know that they're superheroes now. So they'll be like, what the hell? What are you? What? I was just about to call you. I mean, we'll have them that they did call each other after John comes back there. It's like, hey, Barry, it's been a while. Let's get together. Let's have some drinks. I found something I want to discuss with you, because I know you study science and, all that shit. Barry's like, yeah, we'll love to help. But then once they see that they're superheroes, they're like, what the fuck? So it's just the four of them. There are no Superman yet, just the four of them. So Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and the Flash. They're all there. But then they get apprehended by the United States government, by Lex Luthor and Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller tells them, we won't put you to jail, but we're going to need you to come with us. We need to discuss things from you. Because even though Batman and some of you were all public enemy number one, by the way, that's Andrew Garfield as Barry Allen.
Yes, I love it. I was just going to say.
I just think even though he's a great Spider-Man, I always thought I could see him as Barry Allen. Genuinely, I think he would be a perfect Barry Allen.
On that.
Yeah, he would work really well. So instead of Amanda Waller telling them they're all arrested, we're going, you know what? I think you guys are our only hope of survival right now. But I'm going to need you to take all your outfits off. So Lantern accepts, takes off his ring. He's like, oh, my name's Jon Stewart. Flash is like, I don't. And Amanda was like, promise you. We will not reveal your identity. And another person that's there is Steve Trevor's son. Maybe grandson. Because I forgot to establish, that ending in one of the Justice League animated cartoons when they're in the past, and she meets up with old Steve Trevor. That was going to be the ending of that Wonder Woman movie. So I'll have Steve Trevor Jr. whatever being like, I know my father liked you, and we could really use your help right now. So thank you for coming back, and we won't reveal your identity. Batman hasn't taken off his mask yet, and Wanda's like, when you're in the presence of me, you're going to do exactly what I say, Mr. Wayne. And Batman just takes off his mask. Like, you fucking bitch. So, only if people who work with Amanda Waller know Bruce Wayne's Batman. And Commissioner Gordon. Who is also there because they apprehended him. And Alfred's also there too. Because they're all there. They're holding him hostage, but more or less. more or less, they're holding him hostage to say, if you don't work with us, then everyone here's going to be arrested. So while they're trying to discuss what to do, all the monitors in every screen staticking. Back in Smallville, the Kents and Lois and Clark, they're there having a great time, but there's stuff going on in Clark's head. You know, he himself has been trying to investigate what's been going on lately. Like, is there these... Because Chillax has been telling me about this Brainiac creature, but I don't know if he's still around or not. He's not Superman, but he's just secretly going around, saving people still, because he still has that need. Find out. Now, their TV. And it's the same "you are not alone" moment, but instead of Zod, it's Brainiac. And Brainiac's like, I'm here to speak to Kal-El, who is a being from a planet not of yours. I know you know who he is. You all call him Superman, and that's sweet. But I need to speak to him. And I need Superman to turn himself in, or this planet will be doomed. This is not a request, this is a demand. And, of course, like, everyone's, like, scared and hesitant. Clark doesn't know what to do. Their family's telling him, don't do it. He's like, but the people are in danger. Back with Amanda Waller in the Justice League, they go, okay, your job, apprehend Superman. Find him, bring him here, and we're going to surrender him, and we'll be safe. And everyone's like, you want us to arrest Superman? Are you insane? Look at us. Do you think anyone here has fought Superman before? And Batman's like, yeah. And they're like, you fought Superman? You fought, and you survived? And he's like, I won. He didn't bring up that he had a heart attack, but he brought up that he fought Superman before and won. And he goes, but he's a good man. I don't want to, we already settled the differences. And he's like, well, then he shouldn't give you that much trouble to bring him in. So now their job is to look for Superman. And they hate that idea. And they're at each other's throats. They have a little flying fox. Not a little, but that flying fox thing, that's just a gift that they can give Bruce. But then maybe I can have Bruce make a joke. Well, remember who's funding this. So technically, that's already my plan. So they're at each other's throats. And then that's when Superman comes in. New suit, but just same suit, but different variant. And he goes, listen, I'm not here to fight you. In fact, I'm going to turn myself in. And I want you guys to bring me in to Brainiac. Because if you heroes, because that's who you are, all of you are heroes. If all of you turn me in, then the people of Earth will know that you are the ones to trust. You're cooperating. We can't have the people afraid of us anymore. And they're like, shit, all right, well, we didn't want to do this. And of course, I would have a reveal, like, Clark would be like, oh, hey, Bruce, how's your heart? And we'd be like, well, what do you mean heart? Did you have a heart attack fighting Superman? Oh my god, you had a heart attack fighting Superman! And it would be like the Man of Steel scene where he's about to surrender to Zod, but instead it's Brainiac. He says thank you to Lois. He says thank you to the League. And here comes Brainiac, but it's not Brainiac, it's an avatar walking by him and saying, oh, on behalf of the great being of Brainiac, I humble you, I'm greeted to see you. Goes to the army, and that's where General John Jones is there as well. And he's like, Brainiac wants these 4 costume beings to come with us. And instead of them being like, no, they're us, the government's just like, sure, go ahead. Yeah, they'll go with you. And the Justice League's like, seriously? All right. So they go inside Brainiac, and that's where Brainiac is showing him all the collections that he has. There's Kandor, there's this. And the League, they're also learning about it too. And then that's when Brainiac just fucks him over and kidnaps him. Yeah. Because Brainiac's a dick. And he's going to do that. And of course, there's this big fight. The League and Brainiac, they fight. Brainiac gets the upper hand, but they escape. The League escapes. And remember that scene in the 2017 Power Rangers movie where they're all in a campfire having a talk about their personal life? That will be a moment here where they will escape Brainiac and they would tell, Amanda Waller, go to hell. Basically, you turned us in.
We're your only hope now. We will beat them, but we need to avoid you from now. And of course, it pisses off Amanda Waller. And I would have a moment where they would huddle up in the Wayne Manor. They would go outside, put on their regular clothes just to talk. And they're talking about their trauma. They are bonding. They're talking about what they want to do with their lives. They talk about how they want to help people. And of course, this takes a while for Bruce to open up. Because while the rest of the league is opening up to themselves, Bruce is with Alfred. And Alfred's like, no, go out there. Because if there's anybody who could bond with them when it comes to trauma and understand them, it's you. He's like, you know how I am about warming up to people. And that's how we got here to begin with. We don't want to, come on, just... And finally convinces Bruce to come by, and he goes, I had my parents. They were taken from me when I was very young. I had a son. And he's getting emotional. And they're like, oh my God, he's fucked up. And he's like, all I want to do is to make sure that doesn't happen to anyone else ever again. That's why I don't open up to people. That's why I stay here. That's why Wonder Woman puts his arms around him and goes, you're not alone anymore. And none of us, we can't do this alone. We need to stick together and we need to beat this Brainiac thing. And they're like, well, how can we do that? And it's like, well, Lantern goes, I might have an idea. And Clark goes, I might also have an idea. I'm going to go to the U.S. Army. And I'm going to get them to help us. Because they helped me before when it came to Zod. And I helped them with Colton Maltese. And hopefully even though I was gone for a while, we're still in good spirits. And we'll be able to team up again and fight them. Green Lantern goes back to Oa. And he sees if any other Lanterns wants to help him with Earth. And they're very hesitant. And he just goes, well, just think about it. Just think about it. I'm going to go. Diana can't go back to Themyscira. She can't. Because, of the whole Steve Trevor thing and blah, blah, blah. But she's still got a bit of gold armor she can wear. So I'll have her wear her gold armor. And the ending battle will be set in kind of like the desert. Somewhere in the desert. So kind of like a similar area where they had that first battle between the gods at Apocalypse in the Snyder Cut. It will look like that. But this time, the U.S. Army, there's some tanks, there's some fighter jets, there's people with guns, enhanced by the Fortress of Solitude, because the Fortress of Solitude can enhance your weapons, so you can fight people that maybe regular bullets can't affect. Batman's got his bat jet, and he's ready to kick some ass. Wonder Woman's got her sword. Flash quickly made himself a new bit of armor. And I'm going to have a moment where Barry and Bruce Wayne are bonding, over how smart they are. And I'll have it to where Bruce will kind of quietly reveal, if my parents were never taken from me that night, I would have hoped that the man I was would have been like you. Anyway, that's enough sappiness. I'm going to go. And Barry will be like, okay, that's very fucking holy fucking shit. Batman likes me. So, there'll be this big fight. And, I'm going to say the first half of the fight will be on the Justice League side. They're kicking ass. The U.S. Army, they're shooting them down. The Lanterns, they come by and in a moment where you think, oh, we might be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the fucking Lanterns. Here comes Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, he's back and he's got a full beard. He's with Kilowog, who's ready to smash some shit. And he's with Sinestro, who's like, why the fuck am I here? Oh, well, at least I get to kill people. And it's going to be great. And then they go inside Brainiac's skull ship and it's just the Justice League. It's just them. While everyone else is fighting these Brainiac avatars. And they fight Brainiac for a bit, but it's a short fight. They're like, where'd he go? Now Brainiac is outside. Now Brainiac has a new form. Now Brainiac is fucking up other, he's fucking up all these Lanterns, these soldiers. Brainiac now fucking looks like this. So, and while he's doing this, there was something plugged into Brainiac's head. He was sending different, pods across the Earth to shrink certain cities. And some of them are already there. Metropolis is gone. Gotham is gone. Central City is gone. Superman's like, somebody has to be here. That machine needs to be plugged into their head. And they need to undo this. You, goes to the fore. You are the ones that brought me out of hiding. You you teaming up got us here. I am going to put everything back. And it's like what happens in Injustice 2, where he plugs the Brainiac's machine in his head. And I want that line. That's, even though it's in Injustice 2, it deserves to be said by a better Superman, where Batman will be like, this could kill you. And Superman will go, sounds like a job for me. And he goes in there, and you just hear Superman just screaming, just like, go! Go! Get Brainiac! Go! And they go out, and they're fighting this giant fucking monstrous Brainiac. And Superman, you can just hear Superman screaming because it's painful, but it's working. He with his thought alone, like what Brainiac said in the last of the Krypton, nothing's more dangerous than original thought, because it would go against him. He's putting these places back, and he's trying, but there's just a lot of resistance that it's almost killing him. And now here's a big fan servicey moment that I really want to see in a theater. So, Batman will be battle damaged, and he's taking on some of the Brainiac goons on his own. That's what he looks like. He's kind of fucked up. And he's by, kind of like the beach area of this battle. And Batman is thinking, oh god, I'm gonna die. But, well, if I'm gonna die, I might as well go out swinging. So he's doing, he's ready for this. He spits blood. He's like, come on, you son of a bitch. And there's these Brainiac goons, they're hovering over him. Some are just superhero or supervillain landing down. They're ready to fuck him up. One is like Transformer hand turning into like a blade thing. And they're about to attack him. When all of a sudden, the water is getting crazier. And 3 killer whales, Free Willy style, jump up, flying jumping over Batman, and you have a moment where Batman's in the shadow, like, what the fuck? Attacking these Brainiac goons that are floating. And then all the other Brainiac goons are like, what the fuck? When then another wave flies by, crashing everybody, and Batman's placing himself on a rock, hoping that the wave wouldn't hurt him that bad. But then he sees somebody fighting these Brainiac goons. Long blonde hair. These black tattoos that are glowing blue. And these freaky glow-in-the-dark eyes with a trident. Fighting. Defeating all these other Brainiac goons. Look, and this mysterious Aquaman looks at Bruce and goes, keep your garbage out of my home. And floats back to the water. And that'll be the quick Aquaman cameo that will happen in this movie, which will lead Bruce Wayne going, what the fuck? They talk to fish now? Yeah. They fucking talk to fish now? And then boom, they defeat Brainiac. Superman completes that movement, doesn't kill him, knocks him out a little bit, but he did it. Every other city is back. And Brainiac grabs another form, but he's really fucked up because the ship is totally destroyed at this point. And Superman just towers over him, but again, doesn't kill him, doesn't use his anger, Zack Snyder snaps him in the neck. He just gives a speech about hope, and Justice League comes in, and then Brainiac's like, you're just really pathetic. Self-destruct. 5, 4, and the League's like, get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! They get out, and the ship explodes. And they're like, well, is it? Is it done? Did we do it? What the fuck happened? And the U.S. Army is looking around. All the heroes are going, what the hell happened? Lanterns are landing in the air going, hey, is everybody okay? Is everybody good? And why is everyone looking at us? Well, probably because I'm an alien, and no one's seen an alien that looks like me anymore. And it's a little awkward. And Flash is like, we should probably leave. Until one soldier's like, which leads to the big fucking New 52 Justice League applause moment. Where they're all like, all right, well, what's the hurry? And then that'll lead to people now trusting the Justice League, trusting these heroes. More heroes want to come out of hiding. There'll be another quick little cameo of somebody who's watching the TV. Some billionaire playboy dude is watching the TV, hearing about these superheroes coming out of hiding. And he's like, maybe times are different. Mr. Queen, you have secretary on the line. Yes, on my way. And there will be other heroes that will be like, oh, yeah. And it'll have to be a little cheeky moment where in the very end, it's the White House, and they're giving these gold medals to these superheroes. And President Lex Luthor has to give a gold medal to Superman. But instead of him being, like, so pissed off, like, he's a little, like, irritated, but he's like, you know what? Good job. Good job. We'll settle our differences. Good job, you fucking so-called superhero. And that'll lead to them being like, well, what do we do now? And Bruce is like, well, I can have one of my satellites that Clark, you destroyed. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's okay, I repaired it. I can maybe use that satellite for something else. And they're all like, you have a satellite? What do you mean this man has who are you? And that'll be the satellite that they will put in the moon, which will be their Justice League Watchtower. And they're like, well, we got a lot of work to do. Then it will be, like, that'll be the end. And people were like, oh, yay. End credit scene. You'll see, just imagine, here's a song that I want you to imagine in your head. Remember the trailer music they played for one of the Snyder Cut trailers, which opens with him, Superman getting killed?
Yeah.
Imagine that song playing in your head right now when you're scrolling through a very dark-looking area of space where you see Apocalypse. And that's when you see this purple-hooded Desaad character going to the camera, walking like this, going, so, my lord, Brainiac failed. Earth is yours for the taking. Which you see Darkseid on his throne going, I'm on the toilet, man. Why don't you just give me just give me 2 heads up? Come on. No, he's just there, like, playing, like, okay. And that's phase 1.
Oh my god.
So, a lot. It's a lot.
Just from... from that first Justice League, a lot of what you were just saying, a lot of that moment of, like, the use of Brainiac as the villain, and B, ending it just the way you did with, like, establishing Darkseid, and because of Brainiac's failure, is already almost the exact same as how I had it. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Because I think... I always thought, like, Darkseid was, like, a weird villain to introduce first in Justice League. I feel like, even though you pretty much have to Thanos Darkseid, where you need to build him up, Brainiac, to me, makes the most sense to have as the first villain of any Justice League thing. Because, you know, Brainiac is so much more than just a Superman villain. Like, that, anytime he shows up, he is a world threat. So... And, so I really want to establish Brainiac. And I hope Brainiac is a villain in Superman Legacy. Because that would be so different than what we've seen before. And we're vaguely kind of used to him thanks to Krypton and the animated series. So I say, why the fuck not? Get Brainiac. And if you want, I mean, I again, Benedict Cumberbatch is my Brainiac. But you could get Gus, the guy who plays Gus, as Brainiac. Because that could work too. So yeah, Brainiac will be the first big bad in phase 1. Next time we talk about this, you'll like who's the main villain in phase 2. So, yeah, it will be quite pretty. It's not Darkseid yet, but it'll be like, oh, that cheeky fucker. So yeah, so that's my phase 1. Just quick abridged, well, not quick, but the most abridged version of phase 1 I could explain of my universe, and hopefully I can do something with it. I've only been doing concept art designs on DeviantArt, but who knows? Maybe one of these days.
I've pitched this to you before, but I feel like you should do like an actual series on your channel where you use your concept art to establish each of your films and phases of your DCU, and making it like a sort of like video essay type of video using your concept art and explaining it, and set pieces. Oh, look, there's Darkseid. And
there he is.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely think you should do that. I feel like I was gonna I feel like this podcast was better suited for you explaining your pitch for the DCU. I feel like I'll probably save whatever I have in mind for probably like a video I'll do where I pitch it up solely and maybe make some edits and shit with it.
Yeah.
But But like I said, I feel like you could do something similar with you for your DCU. But like, hearing your pitch for everything you've done just now, I can tell you it was a roller coaster, and it was like.
It's gonna get weirder from here. Once we get to Phase 2, it's gonna get weird.
That is some of the best DC storytelling I have seen, heard in a while, and the fucking the fan art as well that you've made is completely spectacular, and the costumes are just phenomenal.
I've always said, concept art, costumes, they help tell the story, and since I'm always spending time with it, I always get like, okay, so where would Clark be in this position, in this point of his life? How would Clark be? And I would always think of a quick story. It's like, okay, that's the perfect, what I want to do. And I've wrote down a lot of, notes I want to do. And like I said, what I went through is only like a little bit of like Phase 1 that I want to discuss. I didn't mention I wanted this version of Wonder Woman to be more like a warrior instead of like this superhero. Because I've always found more the warrior gladiator aspect of Wonder Woman a lot more fascinating. So she'll still be heroic, but she's a fucking she's frightening. You don't want to fuck with her at all. But I want to establish that she is a good character. These are all good people that want to do the right thing. They're just in a world that's just kind of against that for some reason. So, but they don't want to give up on it yet. So yeah, and I liked that idea that where it's Superman that is pretty much definitively the leader of the Justice League, and I like the fact that it's only Batman that's funding them. So,
well, I can definitely tell you, it's just even just from the Superman, I thought this immediately just from the beginning of your pitch of your Superman movie. It was already better than the Snyderverse.
Hey, without the Snyderverse, despite my issues with it was the biggest inspiration I've had. Where there's look, there is good stuff in it, and I wish you've done it this way. Because I want to keep that tone of I want to keep that tone of they're treating these characters like they're the next generation of Greek gods. I want to keep that vibe going on because that's what makes it different than anything else. Everything's dark, everything's dramatic, but they're still recognizable characters. Like Superman is still Superman. He's still good, he's still kind-hearted. He's not, brooding. And when he gives up, he's not really given up still. He still is out there saving people, but he thinks that the whole Superman idea just didn't work. When, of course, he was proven wrong. Because the League will... Not only is he trying to get the League to open up to the trauma, they're also helping him go through his shit as well. I want to establish that they are friends. They're not teammates. I don't care about the teammate aspect. I care more that they're showing that there is a friendship.
I really appreciated how you really did establish more so them as actual friends than a team.
And that's kind of inspired by Smallville. What I always found fascinating was, especially in the last season, when you would see all these characters with superpowers hanging out. A little bit of spoilery, but towards Justice League 2, I'm not saying what the plot of Justice League 2 is yet, but there's going to be a few montage moments of seeing them hanging out, and there will be a moment where they're all together at Barry's apartment watching a movie. That idea is just set with other characters that are joining the League now, which you'll find out who. So yeah, whenever we talk about Phase 2, get ready.
I love it, man.
Oh yeah, get ready. It's going to get darker. So
man, this this Phase 1 pitch was really great, and thank you so much for bloody sharing it with us. And can I ask how?
Oh yeah, thank you for allowing me to come out here and finally talk about it. How long have you
actually been building this up for this?
Since I said since BVS, but I officially came up with a more kind of definitive universe in 2018, because I thought of what I wanted to do with Superman. Then I thought of how Batman would be, handled, and how like, okay, how would he really be after Jason's
So you really
death?
did come up with all this right after it, like the Snyderverse was fucked. Yeah.
Once Justice League happened, that's when I was like,
Yeah.
this can't be the way. This can't be it. So I had to create my own universe just so I can be somewhat entertained while I'm being let down by the actual stuff happening. So yeah. Next time we talk about this, I'll get into Phase 2, and yeah, it's got to get a lot weirder from here, and I'm excited to talk about it.
That's awesome.
So.
All right then.
Yeah.
Well.
So yeah.
Are you
This
serious?
has been a 3-hour podcast. It's been a 3-hour podcast. Is this your longest one?
Let me see. 3 hours. No, I think this is the longest one we've done in a straight up row. But I feel.
Well, we did the Superman
that was
commentary, and
like
that was 3 hours.
But we did it. We technically did it in 2 parts. So here we did it all in one, but hey, I knew.
Yeah.
Whenever you and me are on a call, it's always gonna be fucking free.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
yeah.
jumbled DC stuff,
Yeah.
and maybe occasional Marvel. So yeah, that's about all I got for now.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'll probably save up my my DC. Well, don't necessarily. It's like I said, it's not necessarily like it wasn't necessarily like a reboot of the DCU. It was more or less an established DC universe I had in my mind ever since I was very young. And I gotta say, like, a lot of things that you mentioned with like Brainiac and the Dark Side and shit like that are like factors that I.
Also, an emotional Batman,
Yeah.
like an emotionally traumatized kind of trying to open up more to people. Batman is something I'm very interested in, and I would love to see. Which I think that's kind of what Robert Pattinson's Batman's doing, which I'm very happy about. So
Alright,
yeah.
then. Well, again, thank you so much for sharing your phase, and we'll come back and we'll do the second and how many phases you have more of your five.
Probably 5. So, yeah. So maybe 4.
I really hope you
technically.
don't run out of steam like the MCU has right now.
Well, trust me. Unlike the MCU, I actually know how to end it. So, and once it's ending, it is over. So, yeah,
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, then. Well, thank you all for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed this nice ramble about what is amazing and what should be the DCU that we should be getting by Rob. I'll leave links to his link tree where you can, get all his socials and shit like that.
Again, if you want to check out some of the concept arts that maybe I haven't posted yet in this one, you can check out my DeviantArt. You'll see plenty of not just other characters, but different outfits. I also gave them as well. Like, this was originally what they were going to wear.
So that's
now they're
definitely
wearing
a big
this.
plug for this whole podcast would be your DeviantArt for that.
There's also a lot of Keaton stuff, too, if you like Michael Keaton's Batman. Plenty of that shit there as well. So yeah. Also, follow me on TikTok. Sometimes I'm on TikTok. So.
All right, guys. Well, you already know how to follow me. I'll leave my link tree and all that shit in the description. Subscribe, bitches. Planet Krypton.
Come.
Add to one more.
All right, guys. See y'all next time. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.
Come.